I'm for hire, I'm a seller, I'm a buyer. Conversations with me in my lounge as we scream. You know me, Matt Morgan, subject board, follow him. I'm the comic man. I'm the comic man.
Oh, hello, true believers. It's time for another episode of Comic Conversations. Relax. You see me waving around. That's a go. No, that's not. It's not. It's just a reprint. Relax, people. Relax. I wouldn't wave around the real one like this, would I? No. All right. I probably people having a heart attack or just waving a reprint around like that. I don't care. All right. It's my comic. I'll do what I want. It's like, it's my money. I need it now. All right. Anyway, I'm talking too much. We got a great guest tonight. Met him a few months ago through my friend Fable from One Collection Down. He does a lot of great content. He does comic book reviews, movie reviews, deep dives, all kinds of cool shit. I'm already cussing. We're only a minute 15 in. I'll have to calm down. But anyway, please welcome my new friend, Rockin' Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers.
Hey, Station. Let's fucking go, man. Let's go.
We got JSS Brooklyn in the house. One of the community mods. Also, let everybody know that I pinned Robbie's YouTube channel link in the chat. And then also, I have it starred so I can show it anytime we want. We have his Instagram. And also, we might as well do this right at the start. I will be on your show next Monday. And we're going to be for Sci-Fi Month. And we're going to be reviewing Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So I thought we'd just get your, plug that for you there. And
appreciate your PCP debut.
Yes, my debut. I will be back though for probably the week after. I think.
You're back the week after.
2001.
It's been a long time coming though, man. It was a pleasure to meet you. And what did we do? Chud? Was Chud the movie we did together?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I had a great time doing that, man. So
Underground. Yeah, that was well, I'll tell you what, Chud, that one's out there. I'll tell you, I mean, like, it's like one of those movies when you go back and look at it, you're like, I thought it was pretty cool. It's still pretty cool, but you're like, a lot of things have changed since the 1980s.
Yes. that was not the New York I had just visited. I'll tell you that. But
no.
It's a great movie because it's something that like it appreciates in value. Sometimes movies like Chud, we just talked about Gattaca on Monday night, and I was really kind of nervous. I was like, I don't know if the panel's going to be as down with this film as I am. And it became a narrative that was being told through the panel of a movie that was not appreciated at the time, but has become more relevant and more significant and more appreciated. So I thought that was really cool. And I love movies. Film does that because, I mean, how many times, Matt, have you watched a movie, didn't really like it, then you watched it again, you had a completely different opinion?
Well, I'll be honest, this might be unpopular, but Frank Miller's The Spirit. The first time I watched this movie sucks. But then after I read some of the old comics by Will Eisner, I thought, you know what? It's not that bad. The ending could have been better. But Sam Jackson as the bad guy is pretty awesome. But
I've only ever seen that movie. I've only ever seen it one time, and I thought it sucked. So maybe I need to watch it again. But I did think that Samuel L. Jackson had the best part in the movie. It was the villain he played was like Mr. Octopus or something like that. Yeah, and he's like, you know me, I'm the octopus. I got 8 of everything. Like that was awesome, dude.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess because I just learned to appreciate. Maybe it's not the greatest movie, but what I'm saying is, I kind of had like I kind of got what Miller was trying to do because he loved Will Eisner, and but he maybe didn't succeed. But I mean, I did kind of like it. But I like Love and Thunder. So I mean, people really shit on me for that too. But I just thought it was funny to seeing Thor fight while playing "Sweet Child of Mine" in the background. But I don't know.
You mean Love and Blunder? Right. That's the one you're saying. Okay. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, though, I'd never read the Jason Aaron run until after, so I see why people didn't like it.
Oh, the Jason Aaron run is epic, right? The movie is not. I don't think the movie's great. I think it's I don't think it's the worst MCU film. But I got an unpopular opinion about that movie. I actually like the Screaming Goats, man. The Screaming Goats cracked me up the entire time.
Maybe it's a bit too funny, but like I remember people complaining that the original Thor, he was too serious. So I mean, I don't know.
The most popular Thor movie is what, Ragnarok? You know, and everybody loved that. So yeah, of course Marvel's going to double down. Here's the thing that we all need to learn. If we haven't already, we are all people that should have learned this lesson by now, but a lot of us like to act like it's not true. But whether it's a comic book publisher, whether it's a movie studio or whatever, they always will take the wrong lesson from whatever audience reaction they get. Do you know what I mean? Like,
or they will knee jerk react and they'll overcorrect. Star Wars is bad for that too.
Yeah, Star Wars in particular, like they either will double down too much or they overcorrect, like you said. Exactly. You see that all the time. I mean, look at Rise of Skywalker. That was an overcorrection.
Hey, Fable.
You know? What's up, Fable? I'll be on Fable's show on Friday talking about the Prestige for Sci-Fi Fest.
Look, JSS Brooklyn's on the ball. He's even got a link from Collider about the Screaming Goats.
No wonder he won the Blue Wrench Award, man.
No doubt. Well, the thing about movies, sometimes it's subjective, but like I feel like some of the younger generation, I'll ask your opinion, they're kind of like, we're around the same age, I'm assuming. I was born in the late 70s, raised in the 80s.
Okay, I was born in 81.
Okay, well, you're still about the same. You're going to get the reference I'm getting ready to say about this. So I was born in 76, so you're only a few years younger than me. I think the younger people are a little bit spoiled because they were like just grew up in this. Because I remember in the 80s, you had Lou Ferrigno painted green, and you loved it because that's all we had. But or like, you know what I mean? Or like we had Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher. That's all we had. So we didn't.
I remember being so confused by that movie, homie, because he wasn't wearing the outfit.
Yeah,
I was so confused.
I was kind of confused by all the male nudity in it too. Saying it's kind of weird.
What's crazy with these movies and nowadays, and I get what you're saying, right? And I do understand what you like. I do agree with what you're saying to a point, right? Like we are spoiled today with the influx, the massive quantity of genre and in particular superhero and comic book movie content, right? We didn't have that, right? That though can be used in a bad way to be like, you know what? When I was growing up, we didn't have this. We had Dolph Lundgren, Punisher. We had David Hasselhoff, Nick Fury. We had Generation X on Fox TV. You know, we had this stuff. So you should be grateful for what you have and just eat your slop, pig, you know? And like people use that, and this so pisses me off, but people use that as some kind of argument against criticizing film, right? And they're like, and I'm like, bro, you can love Love and Thunder as much as you want, but like if it really bothers you that much that I'm being critical of Love and Thunder, I mean, let's be honest, it ain't Citizen Kane we're talking about here.
You know, doesn't bother me. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It doesn't bother. It's just, I guess what I meant is like online. There's a lot of. It's kind of like its own little economy, right? Or ecosystem. Yeah. People shitting on every movie that comes out from, Marvel or DC or whatever.
Because there's a thing in our industry, right? Especially in the fandom, right? Where people, and I hate this about the way we look at media today. It either is the greatest thing ever or it's the worst thing ever, right? It's always one or the fucking other, man.
There's no in between.
Yeah, there's no in between. Like, yeah, Love and Thunder. I didn't really like it. Is it a terrible movie? No. There are things about it I like. I can watch it again. I can enjoy it. There's tons of bad movies I love. I hate Psycho 4, but every time I watch the Psycho movies through, I'm going to watch Psycho 4 and enjoy it in some way. There's nuance to film enjoyment. This is what my buddy says. My buddy runs a video store locally in town, and I love him, and I quote him all the time on this. He goes, "There's nothing wrong with a bad movie. The only sin of a movie is to be boring." Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's when we have problems. If your movie's boring. Love and Thunder, I may not like it, may not be great, but it's not boring, in my opinion.
And you know what? And also, you can get some great little video clips from bad movies. Here's one. Let's see if you can figure out which one this is. I'll play this clip just for the hell of it. He throws a bear into space, for God's sakes.
Is that a these movies?
That was a Hercules from Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah. I thought so.
Well, I kind of made a whole thing on if a movie's good or bad, and it's still bad doesn't mean it's not good. I mean, it can be good for the wrong reasons. Just look at a guy we're both familiar with, Neil Breen.
His movies are awesome.
And what I love about it is he's the smartest man in the world, the greatest computer hacker in the world, the greatest spy in the world, and all the women want to have sex with him.
I mean, if you were writing a movie for yourself to star in.
And Fable said a lot of my favorite movies are twos.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It goes. But this is another thing I wanted to mention when you were talking about Dolph Lundgren and all that shit, man. I love this because we just kind of had to learn to accept this shit when we were kids, man, or when we were teenagers, right? Like, we're watching Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, we're expecting something else, but we get it, and we just go, okay, I guess this is it. I guess.
Street Fighter. Although Raul Julia has one of the greatest lines ever in a movie. It's in it when that girl says, "You killed my entire family and my entire village." He goes, that was the worst day of your life, but to me, it was just another Tuesday.
That was a great one. I also love when he looks at Sagat and he goes, "But you didn't see that, did you?" That movie is great, by the way. Street Fighter, but that's a perfect example of a movie that is terrible. It was terrible from the start. It was never good. It had a bad behind-the-scenes stuff. Jean-Claude Van Damme is coked out the entire time. Raul Julia is dying of cancer. So much behind-the-scene drama, shifting, script changes, all this kind of stuff. But that movie is so much fucking fun to watch, man. That movie is so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
It was for me back in the day, and it still is today. We've covered it twice on my channel. I love that movie so much, man. Like, it's such a good movie. I would say it's better than Mortal Kombat. I think Mortal Kombat takes itself too seriously and is not as good as people remember. The one from like 96 or whatever.
But I did like Christopher Lambert as Raiden. I thought that was kind of cool. But
dude, if they did that shit today, though, everybody would be like, why are we getting a French white guy to play
it would go crazy.
Yeah.
But another thing, the cool thing I know about Street Fighter, though, is the story is, though, that's kind of touching, though, is the backstory of Raul Julia even being in that movie, because we know Raul Julia, he was in a lot of great films. He was Gomez Adams, obviously, but he was also in Oscar hoity-toity award-winning movies like Mambo Kings. And he was dying of cancer.
Spider-Woman too?
Was he
in that one?
Yeah, he knew he was dying of cancer. But his kids loved Street Fighter, so he wanted to do a movie for his kids. I thought that was kind of touching. Jason Brooklyn said, to have more fun, Matt and Robbie, what are your thoughts on the Mando and Grogu Super Bowl ad?
Do you want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Hated it. Here's my thing. That was a boring Super Bowl commercial. That was a boring, it wasn't exciting. And here's the thing, whatever, I've heard that was like a $10 million spot or something like that. And a lot of people thought it was kind of lackluster. Here's the thing. It could have been the dopest cut together teaser sizzle reel they could have done. Nobody's going to get the general public excited about Star Wars right now, especially when we're just talking about pretty much an overindulgence of a series finale, right? This isn't a movie per se. It's an overindulgent season finale, right? Now, here's the thing. I know that we for a long time, Matt, all we had was 3 Star Wars movies, right? Then we got the prequels.
And we got the Ewok. I remember the Ewok. We had the Ewok movies, too.
Yeah, we did. We did have that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you can say, well, we were spoiled today. We got so much content, right? But maybe the quantity is not the most important thing here, dude. Because don't really care about Star Wars after the original 3 that much. Like, I like the prequels enough. I actually defend Phantom Menace, and I think Revenge of the Sith is really good. And Attack of the Clones has some major problems.
It has
Force
its moments,
Awakens
but
is
for the most part, yeah, it's got problems.
Yeah, I mean, but like honestly, like, what would you rather have, Matt? Would you rather have as much Star Wars, the Star Wars that we have now, or would you rather just be back to those 3 movies, those Ewok movies, the droid cartoons, the holiday special on a bootleg, and then maybe the prequels?
I don't know. I mean, my problem doesn't really. I kind of felt like when they did like the Force Awakens and all those, they kind of like lost the thread there. The first one had you really hopeful, like, yeah, even though it's like, well, I wish I'd seen more. I hate that Han Solo died, but I know that Harrison Ford wanted his character to die, and that was the only reason he agreed to come back. I know, so I know, like Fable and people who don't like Adam Driver in that role, but I kind of liked his character, to be honest with you. But then, like I've said, well, okay, this is not a perfect movie, but I'm getting to the point. I'm trying to get to the point. I'm sorry. But like it made me hopeful. The end of it made me hopeful when Ray holds the, and then they get, and I hate this director for the end of time for what he did to Luke Skywalker's character in the second movie, because like we think, oh, he's going to do this and that. We got a new Padawan, and no, they make him look like a little bitch. He was out there hiding on an island, and I'm like, wait a minute, and then like the third one was all right. I kind of like the Force Ghost, the end of it. So, and then I thought when the Mandalorian season 1 came out, I thought, oh, they finally saved it. You know what I mean? They're like, this is the Star Wars we want, right? And then the second season, we had Luke show up. We're like, oh my God, this is the Luke we always wanted to see after Jedi. And then they started they got a little cocky. I think they thought, well, they'll just watch any shit we want now.
Yeah. I actually stopped. I didn't watch any Mandalorian after season 2 because honestly, they pulled me out of it when they brought in a CG like deep fake Luke. I was just like, man, they're not learning it yet. The Mandalorian was working because it didn't need to be about any of that stuff. Now, I've only seen the first 4 episodes of Andor, but people keep telling me Andor is the greatest thing that Star Wars has done since the original trilogy, right? And it has nothing to do with Skywalkers, nothing to do with Jedi. Like, this world could be more expansive. They could be doing some stuff with this. The problem is there was no direction. Kathleen Kennedy had a direction at first, but then very quickly basically lost that direction. You need somebody to spearhead and make sure things are going. J.J. Abrams did his thing. Rian Johnson comes in, subverts that. Then they bring in J.J. Abrams to quickly try to course correct and save it, and it made it even worse, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and, right? Like,
I kind of felt bad for some of the actors and actresses that were in the movies because they got a lot of hate. Like the Asian girl, it's not her fault.
Bro, go back and look at the prequels. Look at what happened to Hayden Christensen's career. And even Natalie Portman struggled with her career for years after that.
She went back to Harvard, right?
Yeah.
Also, the guy that played Jar Jar, if you watch the Industrial Light and Magic documentary series, he thought about walking off a bridge. He got so much hate mail.
Yeah. Oh, and and little Jake Lloyd got all fucked up, over it and shit. By the way, the guy that just played Jar Jar just co-wrote the latest Jar Jar one-shot special from Star Wars. So
I think Jar Jar should have been a dark Sith or something.
I think we're too harsh on Jar Jar, man. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you know Dave from West Coast Avengers. He has a drawing always in the background where it's like Jar Jar is a Sith Lord of some artist group. I'm going to acknowledge the super chat here real quick before we move on, and I'll play him a video clip. Thank you, JSS Brooklyn, for the clip. I mean sorry, I'm tongue tied. Thank you for the super chat, and I think we'll play this one for you.
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Predator, iconic.
We got Lord of Brooklyn says, just adapt Dark Empire to guarantee us success. Yeah, well, that was I love Dark Empire.
I've never read it. Are we? That's a comic book, right? Dark Empire.
Yeah.
Now there's the is
Dark
it
Horse had
the
the
stuff
IP.
that Timothy Zahn did based like the novel? What are those called? With like this like a trilogy, Heir to the Empire and
Yeah.
all that shit. Like somebody just sent me those books, and I'm going to read them at some point. But all the stuff with Thrawn and all that shit, I hear that's really good.
Well, after I saw him, he's at Fables at Knights of the Old Republic, but like after I saw Acolyte, I'm like, I don't know if I want to try to tackle Knights of the Old Republic now.
But here's the thing: the Acolyte didn't feel like Knights of the Old Republic, the Dark Horse comic book series.
Yeah,
You know, like I've never read a Star Wars novel in my life. I've read a lot of Star Trek novels, but I've never read a Star Wars novel. But I know people have a lot of love and respect for the expanded universe. And I hear that there's a lot of great stuff there. And I know there's some Old Republic stuff there. I've never read that. But just speaking on the Dark Horse, Knights of the Old Republic, like I used to read and love Star Wars comics, y'all. Because Star Wars was something rare and you just wanted as much of it as you could get. And they've really watered down the franchise. And it's going to take something to hit it back. You know, like DC needed James Gunn's Superman to get people to pay attention again. Right?
Yeah.
Marvel needs something right now, but in particular, Star Wars does too. And it ain't going to be Mandalorian and Grogu.
And they kind of dropped the ball when they had the Mandalorian comic came out because all they did was reprint the stories in the TV series.
I know. And Rodney Barnes is your writer, who is an incredibly solid writer.
Yeah.
So like, why are you doing this? Why are you hiring somebody who is such a great writer, not just in comics, but in screen, right?
Just do an adaptation.
Exactly. Like, get out of here, man.
Yeah.
Y'all are crazy.
But I guess I didn't give my opinion on the ad was kind of hokey. I kind of liked some of the parts of the trailer. I thought it was cool that Sigourney Weaver, it kind of like, I was like, whoa, we got Sigourney Weaver who was in another space franchise we all love.
Galaxy Quest, right? That's obviously what you're talking about.
I don't know if this is the right movie for Star Wars right now. Maybe they need to just pump the brakes a little while, but we'll see.
This is the
movie ever. I don't know.
This is the Captain America Brave New World of Star Wars right now, right? Where that was like the last bastion, like the last movies that were coming out from the old guard. So this movie will come out. It will do its thing. I think it will do decent. It's not going to come close to $1 billion. It's not going to be one of the. I don't think it's going to be a great film. I don't know. It might be, but I don't think it's going to do well. Is what I'm saying.
I don't know. You know what the plot is supposed to be yet? If it's just like them goofing around, or they got like a purpose, or what?
I know. I mean, maybe. I mean, I would love to be surprised. I would love to go in there and come out being like, "Holy shit, that was like so much fun! Like that was awesome!" Right? Like I want it to be that. I don't think so, but I don't think it's. I also don't think it's going to do very well. But they need to really be thinking right now, and I'm sure they are because Kathleen Kennedy is out. She's a great producer, but she was a terrible head of Lucasfilm, right? But now you got Dave Filoni and somebody else in there. Now they get to think about some things. The worrying thing about that is that Dave Filoni said, "I've liked everything that we've done so far except for Andor," and I'm not an Andor supporter because I've only watched the first 4 episodes. I didn't get deep enough into it to really love it. But so many Star Wars fans that I know, that's the only thing they love. And so when your new head of Lucasfilm says, that's the one thing I don't like that we've done recently.
Now, is it confirmed he said that? I heard it was rumored he said that.
Well, I saw it on the John Campea show. So I just assumed that they usually double verify, but who knows? Okay,
well, if it's on his show, maybe. The Squirt Gun said she was terrible, Robbie. All right.
She was. She had a good idea at first. I just watched a video. There's a YouTube channel I watched called Bullets and Blockbusters. Have you ever watched that channel?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he just did a video about Kathleen Kennedy, like grading her as the head of Lucasfilm. And he's got some decent things to say. Like she had a decent enough idea at first. We're going to expand the universe out. Not everything's about a Skywalker. We're going to get young filmmakers in with bold visions. The problem is they undercut every bold filmmaker. They kept firing people, replacing people, reshooting Solo, bringing in Ron Howard to reshoot 70% of the movie, driving up the costs, right? And then Last Jedi happens. And you know what? When something like Last Jedi happens, you go, fuck, what do we do? Well, we made Last Jedi, so now let's see what we can do. The way that they did Rise of Skywalker, it's like Last Jedi undid Force Awakens. Rise of Skywalker undoes Last Jedi. Like, what the hell? I guarantee you the next Star Wars movie probably undoes.
And the thing about like and I hate to harp on this guy, but like he's an all right director. Ryan Brown,
those Glass Onion movies are really good, man.
He's not like when you see his history of filmography, he's never had to do a movie that big. And I just don't think he was up to the moment. He was trying to eat like a snake eating its own tail. I don't know if that makes any sense. He was trying, we got to make it really smart, and they're not going to see this, so we're going to do this swerve.
He was trying to subvert, right? He was like, oh, Snoke's not a big deal. Like, oh, this isn't that big of a deal. Like, Finn isn't this. Captain Phasma's going to die immediately, right? Like, it's stupid. It's stupid what happened there, man.
Now, in defense of Kathleen Kennedy, I'm not trying to defend some of the stuff she did as the head of Lucasfilm. But the woman was involved in a lot of great stuff as a producer. So
she's an amazing producer, brother. Yeah. E.T., right? Jurassic Park.
She was all involved in some way or another in those movies.
Yeah. She's a great producer, man.
Yeah, she was in the room when like ILM was created and all that stuff. But yeah, she I just don't think she was up to that moment, or I don't know. The thing is, we don't know what was going on in the background, because the same thing with comic books. You think about it, people gave Dan Slott hell over the Spider-Man. He got death threats over that. But what people don't realize is that behind the scenes, they were saying you can't use this bad guy, you can't use Green Goblin, you can't do this, they can't do that, and he was already had one hand tied behind his back.
Yeah.
And then he's the one that gets.
There's the crazy thing about the Dan Slott Spider-Man run is how the same people will absolutely say they hate and detest everything Dan Slott ever did with the character of Peter Parker and his world. Yeah. And then some of those exact same people will tell you their favorite Spider-Man book of the last 10 years is Superior Spider-Man.
That's weird.
It is weird. I think his run is very inconsistent. I think Dan Slott's an inconsistent writer.
Yes.
He's easy. Here's the thing. Dan Slott got wrapped up in that shit where everybody realized that comic book writers and artists were on Twitter and that you could have easy access to them.
Yeah.
So if you had a beef with a Dan Slott Spider-Man issue or a leg that Mark Bagley drew or some shit like that, you could get on Twitter and directly talk to that person without an invitation. And some people are built to be able to like brush shit off like that. Some people are built to engage with shit like that. Some are built to engage in an interesting, entertaining, humorous way. Some are built to engage in an obnoxious, insufferable kind of way. And Dan Slott was kind of one of those dudes, and he didn't help himself. It's like J.K. Rowling, not comparing the two with anything other than the idea of maybe sometimes just not responding is your best career move, right?
Yeah, I think Liefeld learned that the hard way sometimes.
I love how Liefeld doesn't, though, because he doesn't quite know.
He doesn't really care, though. Like, he's so you know what I mean? He doesn't really care. Like, if you don't like it, it's okay.
He just recently got into it with everybody because everybody on Twitter again was doing that shit where they were saying that Deadpool would have been a success without Rob Liefeld, and Rob Liefeld's just like kind of defending himself, and he doesn't have to defend himself. And the funny thing is, he says, I'm comfortable. I don't have to defend myself while he's defending himself. But that's what we all do, right?
Hey, Bobby's here. Hey, Bobby.
Hey, what's up? But the big thing is, I'm sorry, but my opinion, if you hold any value in my thoughts on comic books and this industry and the history of this medium, like, it is ridiculous to say that Deadpool wouldn't be who Deadpool is without Rob Liefeld. Get the fuck out of here. Rob Liefeld created the character. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, the character evolves, right? But it would be the same thing as me saying Bob Kane has nothing to do with the success of Batman. Right? Because now we know about the involvement of Bill Finger. Bill Finger is so important to Batman. But if you take Bob Kane out of that equation, it doesn't happen. It's the same thing with the Jack and the Stan argument.
Exactly.
Jack and Stan, I will definitely tell you, I am on Jack Kirby's side of that argument, right? I am a Jack guy more so than a Stan guy. but you needed both of those motherfuckers to create the Marvel universe. Do you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
And the thing is, like, about that, I always say about that situation is Jack Kirby was not the kind of guy that liked the spotlight shining on him. He just wanted to draw his characters and draw his comics and do his art. And Stan Lee was the guy. If they had Stan Lee, he was the guy out there on the mountain preaching Marvel comics to all the kids, right? He would go to colleges, high schools, and talk to people, do public engagements,
doing
TV
Playboy
shows.
interviews,
Yeah,
trying
Playboy
to weasel his
interviews.
way into TV, into the movies. You needed that. You needed somebody to be the face.
He was like the Barnum and Bailey. He was like P.T. Barnum.
Yeah.
You know,
You got to have somebody be the face, man. You know?
But unfortunately, it kind of made Kirby not like, and Ditko, Ditko hated the spotlight. He didn't want to do any interviews at all. Didn't want his picture shown. And so that they suffered for that. But like looking back, I think we give them their props now. They get their flowers now, but maybe, I mean, when I was a kid, Stan Lee's the one I saw, so I thought Stan Lee did all. Because every time you read a comic, here, where's it at? Even the G.I. Joe comic, if you open this up, it says Stan Lee presents G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
But Stan Lee had nothing to do with it, really. I mean, it was Larry Hama and Herb Trimpe and all those guys and Jim Shooter.
And we all grew up thinking that he is Marvel, right? That he is the creator of all these things, right? Damien, you're completely right. He was a great editor and a great PR guy. He didn't. And the sad thing is this, man. I think the more that we learn about the situation with Stan and Jack, we learn that Stan tried at times to stick up for Jack. But Stan was also protecting his career.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And, I know that, who was it? Marty Goodman, right? Marty Goodman was the publisher, right? I think it was his uncle. So like, he had to I know why Stan, there's a book by Tom Scioli, I Am Stan. It's a graphic novel. Have you ever read it, Matt?
No.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Tom Scioli is super cool. He's a writer, artist. He's got a very Jack Kirby type art style. He did a biography on Jack Kirby called Jack Kirby, The Epic Life of the King of Comics. It's great. Then he did a follow-up called I Am Stan, which was a comic book autobiography of Stan Lee. And it's an honest look at it, but like that's one of the things that you get there. And because he really did his research and put it all together. But like Stan tried to stick up for some of his people, but he didn't really stand up for them enough. But it doesn't, without Stan, the Marvel universe isn't what the Marvel universe doesn't exist as it does today. Just as without Jack or Steve, right? Or other people, you can get other people involved in that. But the crazy thing is Stan would just go with it too, man. And you know what? When you're successful, especially when you're touring all those college campuses, you're in the Playboy offices taking photo shoots for your interview. I'm sure there was some cocaine involved. I'm not saying that I've heard stories Stan Lee did cocaine, but I'm pretty sure he did. But some form of drug. But straight up in the what is that book called? The Son of Origins or whatever. And one of those books that he did, like the Origins of Marvel Comics or the Sons of Origins or whatever, he basically did claim to be a co-creator of Captain America, which is insane.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely insane.
We know that's not true because it was Simon and Kirby.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like what Sleepy said. Stranko quickly demanded credit and got it, which tells me Jack could have demanded more. And Daniel Loves Comics is saying he thinks that I think Jack didn't want to ruffle feathers.
Jack was old school. Jack was an old school, like first generation Jewish immigrant or something like that.
Yeah.
Like
World War II, like actually saw combat. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was of the idea, like if you put your head down, grind and put the work in, you'll be rewarded. And that's what we're all told, by the way. Right? We're all told that.
Yeah.
We all know that that's bullshit. You got to be a little bit of Stan. You got to have the talent of Jack, but you got to have the talent, the foundational talent of Jack, but you have to have the ability to sell yourself like Stan.
Yeah, like a promote. You got to be a good promoter. And like Stan Lee became like the like I said, the P.T. Barnum of comic books. And in the 60s. But I mean, when you look at some of that stuff, like with Fantastic Four, we were talking this other night. Kirby did a comic for DC called Challengers of the Unknown.
Oh yeah, that's the prototype. That's the prototype for Fantastic Four. Yeah.
And so, like, you look at that, that's like him testing that theory out, I think. And then I guess him and Stan worked together because they were going to release a book. Like, this is the last test we're going to get because, like, he did not want to do it anymore. And that's when they something like, I don't know, something like that. You know what I'm talking about, though. And then they brought
Marty Goodman told Stan that he was tired of getting his ass kicked by Justice League, so make a Justice League. Yeah.
And luckily, Kirby had probably already had this idea that, we did this at DC, we could do this. But yeah, and like Kirby, it wasn't just Marvel. Like, from what I've read, DC got a hard time too.
Oh yeah, they canceled his books, man. They weren't, because they brought him in. It was a big deal. That's when he did the Fourth World, right? And so he created a whole new, like, after creating the Marvel universe of the Silver Age, which he did after starting the foundation of superhero comics back in the Golden Age and Timely with Captain America, right? So after doing Captain America and establishing that, and then having a very successful career in romance and monster comics. And by the way, if you ever get the opportunity to see Kirby's art that's not comic book art that he took time to do, it's some of the most beautiful shit you've ever seen. Right? It's amazing, right? People forget that comic books is about the economy of the line. And Kirby's style was adapted because it was a way that he could do 5-6 comics a month.
Yeah.
Throughout the majority of his career. So then after creating the Marvel Universe, he goes over to DC and creates Darkseid and the rest of the New Gods and Mr. Miracle. He creates the Demon and Clarion. He creates Commandy, has a long extended run on Commandy that is some of the best work Kirby has ever done. Absolutely, dude. And then he goes back to Marvel and creates more shit. He does a third amazing run on Captain America that made it very weird and sci-fi. He created the Eternals, right? Like Devil Dinosaur, like maybe not the biggest properties, but still creating. And always until the day he died, always doing something new, not rehashing, always trying to do something new.
And you'll see also, if you look at some of the Hanna-Barbera animation, he worked for Hanna-Barbera for a few years, and like, you could totally see it in Thundar.
Thundar, yeah, dude, I love that. Did you read it? Did you get a chance to read Thundar #1? Yes, it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I liked it.
I love that Michael Cho cover A that has the Kirby street sign, like a little homage to Kirby. I love that shit, dude.
Yeah, and but he was like, he finally that's when he kind of quit comics, wasn't it? Because he went to like Hanna-Barbera and he was out of comics for several. But there was like, I want to go back to talking about like his art. I just recently watched a video by Chris from Comic Tropes, and he was talking about, there's 2 videos. He just did one where they erased his art. Like, he would have they show actual panels that have survived because unfortunately a lot of this stuff did not survive.
He photocopied all of his shit for a while there. Yeah.
Yeah. They erased it. They would erase characters like, oh, this is too much for this panel. And they erased the Invisible Woman out of it.
That was in particular, that was Vince Colletta, who was an inker who's notorious for erasing detail out of. He sure did. But Vince Colletta would erase details out of Kirby's drawings. And you got tons of stuff side by side. You can see it's ridiculous. Do you ever check out Jack Kirby Collector at all? Yeah. Jack Kirby Collector is an amazing resource for a Kirby fan. Definitely, if you're a comic book history fan, there's a lot of stuff from Tomorrow's Publishing that I would recommend people that are getting into the industry, that are loving superhero comics, that want to know more about the creators and the history. Read books like Alter Ego and Back Issue and Jack Kirby Collector. Like, read those books. That's valuable information, right? And having a collection of those is a valuable resource if you're going to be a lifer, especially in this industry. You learn so much. But all that. So Vince Colletta doing the erasing of the backgrounds and not like just getting rid of them, man. That's so terrible when you think about it now. And then at DC, they would always have some other asshat come in and redraw the heads of Jimmy Olsen and Superman to make it
Yeah.
look more like the Kurt Swanee.
Yeah.
And it's crazy when you see those original pages. Kirby's Superman looks so like Max Fleischer, like golden age, squinty eye, like looks
Yeah.
so amazing, dude. Looks so good.
And like, you know, they did that to like Steranko. I can't imagine anybody want to draw over Steranko, but they did that for the Incredible Hulk Annual #1. They redo the face, and I've had friends that have seen him at cons, and every time they bring that book to him to sign, he's like, "Let me tell you what they did to this picture."
Yeah.
But
what I love about my favorite story about Jim Steranko, who I've met multiple times, such a cool character, right? And I've never met him like in line to get a signature from him.
Yeah.
I've always just met him while talking to other creators or just being around an area where he's at, or walking down the street with him in Stan Sakai, which is one of my favorite memories, right?
Cool as hell.
But one of my favorite things about him is he did that amazing Shield Nick Fury sequence that was silent, right?
Completely silent. Yeah, he's
completely silent. And he was the writer artist of that book, and they weren't going to give him his page rate for writing. And he argued and fought against that and got a page rate for writing, saying that just because there's no words doesn't mean I wasn't writing something, because back in those days, writing a comic meant you put in the words.
Yeah.
That's why we all need to realize that Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, John Romita, John Buscema, these people are just as much co-writers as the writers that were credited with them.
Start with pictures as well as the words. And
exactly.
Have you heard the funny? It reminded me of that when you said that Steranko story. Have you ever heard the Steranko story? It's on the internet at a con. He was on a panel, and he talks about meeting Bob Kane. Have you heard this story?
No, I don't think I have.
We'll get into it. I don't know if everybody. I've told this many times because I
wonder if Bob Kane was wearing a cape, man. That most ridiculous thing is that Bob Kane literally wore a fucking cane. It's like a cape. It's like that episode of Seinfeld where the dude's wearing a fucking cape.
Yeah, like the Phantom of the Opera cape.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he's wearing a cape, but he did mention something about the way he's dressed. But you know, Steranko, backstory, he was good friends with Bill Finger, and like Bill Finger struggled a lot. Of course, he died in poverty. He said every time I saw Bill, he needed some money. But so he already kind of didn't like, but they're at this con. Like, I think it might have been San Diego or something back in the day. He's like, "Hey, you want to meet Bob Kane, Jim?" He's like, "Okay." So they go up there, and he's over there holding court. Bob Kane. He's one of these larger than life kind of acting guys. And he goes to see him. And "Hey, how you doing?" He says, "I guess it's a pleasure to meet me," or something like that. And he says, "I already didn't like this guy." Then he says, they're getting ready to leave, and he's getting ready to walk in the elevator. And he looks back at me and smacks me on the right there, like he's some kind of mafioso guy. Says, "See you later, Jimbo, baby." And kind of does that little tap. And he said, "Okay, I'll remember that." So next time I saw him, I walked up to him and went, "Hey, Bob, how you doing, baby?" And smacked him right beside the head.
Hey, Bob, what did the 5 fingers say to the face?
Yeah.
I can see Jim Steranko's short ass doing that too, man. Like jumping up and slapping at him. Dude, Bob Kane really fucking hammed it up when that 89 Batman movie came out. Even I remember him all over the fucking place for that, dude.
Oh yeah, he was so happy. I wonder if he'd be upset though now it's like created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane. I wonder how you think of that.
I'm sure he would, man. But you know what? Fuck him, man. He actually got rich off creating Batman.
He should have gave him more credit when he was alive. I think that kind of didn't sit well with a lot of creators at that time, like Steranko included, because they knew Bill and they knew that every time, like Steranko said, every time I was in town to have lunch with him, he didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of.
Yeah. That really started this whole movement, man. And what was crazy is that it was British. It was during what we call the British invasion in comics, right?
Yeah,
when that happened, like with Alan Moore, Neil Gaiman, Grant Morrison, Warren Ellis, Garth Ennis, all these talents. And Pete Milligan was a big part of that. But like people in particular, Alan Moore, like it was like the British creators understood this more, right? There was something going on. And I remember Neil Adams was a big big supporter of that too. Like that whole thing to get Kirby his artwork back and all that shit, you know. It's crazy, man. It's crazy when you hear the stories about how it used to be run. But at the same time, there were good things going on at the 80s too. Things were starting to change, man. That's why Jim Shooter was well, no, Roy Thomas is taking credits for my videos right now, Damien. But oh, by the way, everybody, I just booked Stephen Bissett on the show, on my show next week. So I'm very, very excited to announce that to everybody. Stephen Bissett, artist of Swamp Thing with Alan Moore. That's freaking fantastic.
Swamp Thing. He's doing a continuation series, right? Swamp Thing 89 is coming out.
Yeah, Rick Veitch is doing that, but Stephen Bissett is actually about to launch a Kickstarter of a collection, an artist edition of his Tyrant, his work on Tyrant from the 90s. Tyrant was a Tundra published book. Tundra Publishing was Kevin Eastman basically taking the millions that he made off of co-creating the Turtles, right? And he invested it in a publishing company called Tundra. And because of Tundra, we got things like Mike Albert's A Madman. Because of Tundra, we got so many great creators, and he was paying them so much money to produce books on spec and in advance. And a lot of it never got finished and never came out, and he went bankrupt kind of basically almost because of it, had to sell it. But Tyrant was an unfinished work from Tundra that was supposed to be the life story of a dinosaur from birth to death. And it's some of the most fucking amazing art you've ever seen, dude. Like Stephen Bissett to me is a legendary creator, and I'm blown away that his people reached out to me to bring him onto my show.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Blown away.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's a legend, really, in the industry, honestly.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that Swamp Thing run is amazing, and the art is a big deal because of it, you know. But I love how those British dudes came in and they really started fighting more for creator rights, you know.
Yeah.
Like Alan Moore's kind of a dickbag sometimes with some of the things he says and some of the stances he makes, but he is trying to make a stance for creator rights. And the thing is, it's weird because some people are able to get those great rights. And at the time, Marvel was like, Jim Shooter was doing a great job with like this royalty program that Marvel had. You know, when the creators of comic books, like the people who write and draw these things, right? When these people actually have a stake in the business and in the creation, it's absolutely nuts to think that they put out the better work, but they do.
Mm-hmm.
We get Frank Miller's Daredevil because he has a stake in it. So we get characters like Elektra. We get Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man.
He saved Daredevil from being canceled.
Absolutely, man. You know, we get John Byrne's Fantastic Four. We get Chris Claremont's run on X-Men with so many amazing artists. Oh yeah, Neil Adams was a big deal in the get Kirby back his art and all that shit.
Eastman bought a tank.
Eastman bought a tank. The very first time I met Eastman, I got to run a panel with him. And I've run 2 panels with him. I've met him several times. I actually got to introduce him and Mark Spears. That was really cool. That was like a highlight of my modern comic book YouTube career. But I asked him about the tank shit, Bobby, and what he told me was that all he ever did with it was use it to play paintball with his friends.
Also, I'll give him props for this too. He was married to Julie Strain.
He was, and he bought the Batmobile too. From the '89 movie, he bought one of the Batmobiles.
He's had an interesting life. He was in some of her movies too. Not the best movies in the world, but let's face it. You didn't watch a Julie Strain film for the plot.
And and Kevin Eastman is also in one of the Toxic Avenger sequels. One of the ones I've never seen though. Yeah. He's got a brief role in the original TMT movie, which y'all, let's be honest, still one of the greatest comic book movies of all time.
I doesn't think it gets enough love anymore, but I loved it when it came out. And they had like little references to like, I mean, like even like the wardrobe, like these kids, they have like Sid Vicious t-shirts on and shit. And it was like something right out of one of the Mirage comics.
Yep, exactly. And it had that grit. You know, that first Turtles, no Turtle movie since has the grit of that. Like, but no Turtles product really has that grit anymore in the mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Like every once in a while you get a Last Ronin or something, but like those first Turtle books, they're way more hardcore than the Turtles cartoon. But what's crazy is I remember Ed Piscor, RIP, used to always mention this. He was like, dude, when you were a kid watching Turtles and you heard there was a comic book, you heard the craziest ass shit about it, right? You heard that they're like cutting people in half and fucking April O'Neil on the couch and shit like that.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
hearing these crazy stories, man. It's not that hardcore, but it's still pretty hardcore compared to the cartoon, especially.
Here we got my friend Jeff. He's gifted 5 Heroes for Hire Comic Club memberships. So I'm going to play a video for him. And I don't know. What do we play for him? We'll do this one. I like this one. This is one of my favorites.
Coming out.
All right.
Taking out a day.
I had an argument with somebody that said that, like, in that scene, Gambit jumps on his back, and he said he wouldn't be able to handle Gambit on his back and still run like that. And then when he charges his claws, he's going to make him explode. And I said, first of all, adamantium is one of the strongest, if not the strongest alloy in the world. Wolverine has a healing factor, and just because, and it's not just a healing factor, he's got almost the strength of he's got a higher strength level than a normal human. So I argued that it would not hurt him.
Yeah, I don't think it would hurt him either. He has to carry around like how much does he weigh just based on his bone structure? Think about that.
I know. Think about that, because
Here's the thing, though. I do think it's bullshit. I do think that Gambit's power would explode the adamantium claws.
You think so?
I think so. I think so.
Let me read
They're
off.
unbreakable, but what does that mean? What does that mean compared to Gambit's powers? Is there a limit to what Gambit's powers can blow up? Have we ever seen that limit?
He just uses the cards, but Gambit can use anything.
Could he blow up a diamond?
Possibly, yeah.
An adamantium is just like what, slightly harder than diamond?
I don't know. It's
unbreakable, is what they say, unless you got the Maramusa blade or some shit. I don't know what it's called. Something like that.
I'm gonna read off who got the free memberships here. We got Metal Elf Collectibles, still only 35 cents. Raider Nation, Comiverse, and Rad Art Collectibles. All right. Sorry.
That's awesome. Hey man, I hate to do this, but I gotta go take a whiz. Can I take a quick timeout? Can I pull a Zach Morris timeout?
Oh, wow. All right. Go ahead.
I'll be right back, man.
I'll play a video clip or something. What do you guys want to hear? We'll play I don't know. Here, we'll play this one for you. All right, we got Rogue fighting. I could show you guys what I picked up today. All right, I got this GI Combat 200. We got Conan the Barbarian 5. Check that out. Barry Windsor Smith. And I picked up some Dazzler. Yeah, you can make fun of it if you want. Got Dazzler 31. I love Dazzler in the 80s, though. Dazzler 32. That's a cool cover. But Dazzler had some of the best covers in the 80s. We got some more Dazzler. There's 36. They're kind of minty, too. I mean, they're not worth much, but here we got number 37. I kind of like the colors. Get this. Number 40. I'm filling in the run. And I got this cool glow-in-the-dark Halloween cover, Virgin variant. It glows in the dark. I can't turn the lights off, but I did it earlier. We got some Zerdy action here, Poison Ivy, the pumpkin spicy variant. And got some Chip Zdarsky newsletter here. I was just showing them what I picked up today. I love these Chip Zdarsky news books.
Well, I haven't read any of them, actually, man. They usually sell out at my shop. We usually push through them.
I don't know. I like his attitude. He's kind of a goofball. He did an interview the other day. It was interesting about what he's doing at Marvel right now. Of course, Joshua Williamson just started on Iron Man, which is really exciting to me. And I actually liked the first issue. I don't know what you thought, but
I liked it. I thought it was really solid, man.
I really like what Zdarsky's doing with Captain America, and I'm really interested in this Weapons of Armageddon, I think it's called, coming out.
Yeah, I actually fell out of Zdarsky's Captain America pretty quickly because I didn't really like his Batman run. So I've been a little bit too harsh on Marvel Comics, too quick to drop out of them. I learned my lesson by rereading Johnson's work on Incredible Hulk. That was really good. So I read 1 through 6 of Zdarsky's Captain America. I actually did a video about it that's going to drop soonish. It's available for our members right now, but it's going to drop soonish. But I think Zdarsky is doing solid work there. And after the last time I talked to Josh, he was talking about some of the things. He wasn't giving me details, right? Obviously, I don't want to get him in trouble. But like he was sharing his excitement, let's just say, about what Zdarsky is going to be doing. He says there could be some big moments. We'll see what happens.
Well, I heard in an interview that Zdarsky did, he didn't give away a lot either because they're trying to keep it close to the vest, I'm assuming. But that they were talking about how back in the day, there was if you needed to know what was going on in Marvel, there was a book you could look at and go, okay, I just read Avengers or whatever, New Avengers or something. Yeah. And I know what's going on in the Marvel universe without having to buy everything off the rack. And him and Joshua Williamson are trying to, what it seemed to me, we're trying to coordinate with something larger they're building up to. Now, I've heard people say they have heard these rumors that Marvel, that actually leads me into a good thing we could talk about, Robbie. Somebody I know said they knew somebody that knows, how it is, to know somebody that knows somebody's best friend's roommate, best friend's sister's roommate, that Marvel is going to reboot everything in May. What do you think of this rumor?
It's a lie. If Marvel was rebooting in May, we would already know that. We would already know this because solicitations are already in for May.
Well, also, why would they be doing all these new number ones right now if they're rebooting stuff in May with this new Doctor Doom thing that's coming out in May or June or something like that, or July?
Yeah, well, so Chip is building into something in June called Armageddon, right? And he's been building it up in his Captain America books, and it's also dealing with the aftermath of One World Under Doom. That's what he's doing with his Captain America run, and I actually like it because the first 5 issues are like what Cap does as soon as he comes out of the ice. Before he joins the Avengers, it makes more sense. He actually goes back to the army, right? First message or mission they sent him on is to Liberia, and it's right when Doom has control, right? We're actually getting a modern recontextualized vision of Doom taking over Liberia and how that relates to the United States government in the Marvel universe. Like post World Under Doom. So I think it's doing a good job. This, by the way, the reboot of Marvel completely has been going on every few years for a while now, right? And the one time the rumor was true was post Secret Wars, but that was the softest of soft reboots anybody's ever done. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like DC where they have multiple times rebooted their entire continuity from the beginning. Yeah. And always to success, by the way. I do want to say that when DC did that post-crisis and they did it again, New 52, it worked. It really worked. And when they did Absolute, that worked too, right? And DC's really killing it right now. But that's a DC thing to do. That's something already baked into their storytelling methods, is the idea of the reboot, the idea of all these different versions of their history and stories and characters and shit like that. Marvel has more of a through line, right? You can read Marvel. You can read the story of Spider-Man from the beginning to the end, right? And that's why I think here's something I want to ask you, Matt, because this is something I struggle with as a retailer, as a reader, as a promoter of comics, and as a reviewer of comics. Like as somebody who was my whole life is about comics, right? Like, look at manga, and we can argue about how manga is telling their stories versus how American comics are telling their stories. But what I'm in particular talking about is the packaging. The packaging of a manga. Where do I start if I want to read One Piece, Matt? If I want to read One Piece, you start at volume 1.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know where to start. There's so many of them, though.
Okay, well, if I want to read Demon Slayer, where do I start?
Just start at the beginning.
Volume 1. If I want to read Dragon Ball Z, where do I start?
Volume 1.
All right, if I want to read Spider-Man, Matt, where do I start?
Depends how far you want to go back.
Exactly, man. And so then here's the thing. Like, why is there not a digest, easily accessible form of Spider-Man adventures from start to finish?
There should be.
There should be. But then will that get people excited? Because some people ain't going to vibe with that Steve Ditko shit. Some people ain't going to vibe with the John Romita. Not by today's standards.
I got the collected works of the First Adventures, 15 issues. And some of that shit's tough to read, yo. I'm telling you right now, for like modern readers, that like Hawkeye calls Giant Man hot pockets. Nobody uses that terminology for tall people anymore. And
I know.
You got all this like outdated stuff, you know, and like as much as I love Stan Lee, like his writing is of that time period.
Yeah. It's hard to sell a 22-year-old today on starting Fantastic Four in the very beginning. Even though me and you can look at those comics and understand it. When I first started reading comics, I didn't like Jack Kirby. I didn't like Steve Ditko. I thought it looked weird. I thought it looked wonky, too square. You know, it wasn't Todd McFarlane. It wasn't Jim Lee. It wasn't John Byrne. It wasn't the artist that I was digging at the time. But now that we know more about the evolution of this medium and the history of this industry, we understand the context of it. That's a whole different thing. So like that is a problem I think modern comics has, right? And so maybe initiatives like Ultimate Spider-Man and Absolute Batman, maybe they do, like Absolute Batman is working right now, just like Ultimate Spider-Man worked. And let's not discredit Marvel. Marvel relaunched the universe to massive success.
Yes, they did.
Right around the same time that Kirkman was launching the Energon universe. That started some ways, brought people it brought people back into noticing what was going on in comics. And then Absolute happened. So Absolute happened after Ultimate and Energon. Energon has maintained a consistent readership. Absolute has maintained and grown. Ultimate Marvel has downsized because, I don't know, Marvel's big announcement of 2025 was that they're ending the Ultimate universe. And I get it. Like, I applaud that they're sticking to a plan. But, like, what do we do? Like, I don't know, man. What's the answer? I guess is what I'm saying. How do we replicate the simplicity of where to start with bringing people in? Like, I don't know, because I don't think the best place to start for a 22-year-old on Spider-Man is Amazing Fantasy 15. Like, we're not saying that they shouldn't read that issue and not enjoy it, or that 8, 10, 12 pages of that issue. But if I give somebody a book of the first 20 appearances of Spider-Man by Lee and Ditko, are they going to want to come back the way somebody wants to come back after being enthralled by a Demon Slayer or a One Piece?
Like maybe like do another, like, you know how they did Marvel Age or something, where they can like kind of give you a Cliff Notes version of some of the stuff that happened.
Yeah. So the issue there is then Marvel Age, for instance, that gives the connotation of writing
Marvel Saga, not Marvel Age. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Okay.
Marvel Saga. They used to do like little like retellings of like, I think it's the one I'm thinking of. Never mind.
I got you. I think the answer is do more Absolute Batmans. Like, do more restarts. Like, or here's the thing: you don't even have to do it with the history of Spider-Man. You don't have to do this. You can hotshot it though, man. What if we said, what if Marvel? Let me spitball this with y'all. You out there in the chat, I really want to know what y'all think about this. Matt, you too. Let's say Marvel goes, let's put more money on the backside of our comics. Our comics are R&D, right? For future exploitation, for like movies and animated series and video games and all this kind of shit, right? How much would it cost to get Daniel Warren Johnson to be guaranteed to do 50 issues of Thor? And let's do it. How much would it cost to get Ryan Stegman to do a solid run on Spider-Man? Maybe that's a bad example because he's been on Spider-Man, but you get what I'm saying. Like Daniel Warren Johnson, top-notch guy. How much would it take to get him to do 50 issues of Spider-Man? Do you think that would work?
Or maybe if you had enough money, I don't know that these two would do it, but like maybe try to get Remender and Brubaker to, how much money would they have to come back?
Yeah, but the thing is, what does manga have that American comics doesn't in modern day storytelling? Consistency and dynamic quality in the artwork. So what would it take to get Daniel Warren Johnson to do 50 solid issues of fucking Thor or Spider-Man? Who cares? Make that fucking happen, because then you can take those 50 issues, especially if it's Spider-Man. Hey, where do I start with Spider-Man? Daniel Warren Johnson's run, book 1. Here's a $10 digest black and white version. Here's a $20 fucking color version. Here's a $50 hardcover pristine deluxe version. This is the whole story, and it's great, and it's designed for new readers, old readers, and future readers, right? Something evergreen that will last. Like, for instance, if I ask you where to start with Batman, you have more answers. Batman Year One, Long Halloween, Dark Knight Returns, Scott Snyder's run, book 1.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Hush, even Hush, I would put.
Do that with Spider-Man.
Which I think I don't think it's enough love. It's good, but I don't really talk about it as much anymore.
And here's the thing, Jeff. I'm sorry to interrupt. Here's the thing, Jeff. I don't know if you're directly referencing what I just said. Daniel Warren Johnson, 50 issues solid on Spider-Man. Sales would support that. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Well,
I'm not saying Psycho. I'm sorry. I'm not saying do something like a reboot. I'm saying do something that all of the Spider-Man has happened, but we're going to, like, everybody knows who Spider-Man is, and now we're going to have a fresh start. Like, reintroduce his world to the audience. You can do it in ways without rebooting. Do you know what I'm saying? Every great writer and artist who's had a significant run on a title, Chris Claremont had the benefit of Giant Size X-Men #1 coming right before him, right? And he had a new cast and everything. But John Byrne, when he came on Fantastic Four, everything that happened before was solid, right? But what makes that run significant? The fact that John Byrne did it. So here's a perfect example. What if Nick Klein was on every issue of Hulk that Philip Kennedy Johnson wrote? That book would be evergreen.
Hey,
I don't know. I'm just spitballing and rambling. I'll let you talk a little bit, Matt. I'm sorry.
No, that's why we're here. Manga has freedom from progressive / I don't know what that means. All right. Anyway,
freedom from being woke.
Well, I would argue that. I won't get into it, but I would argue that there's always been some pretty progressive ideas in the pages of comic books. But no, like
and
what you're saying, yeah, and manga. The thing is that the thing about Claremont and with the X-Men and Byrne on Fantastic Four, and I would even put Larry Hama in there on his G.I. Joe run.
Simonson on Thor, Miller on Daredevil,
even Hama on Wolverine there for a while. They had the freedom to be on that for a long time. That would shape the world. Like I mean, that's why I love the X-Men. If Claremont had only done it to a certain point, and then it went and like, well, no, we're going to put somebody else in over Claremont, those characters' growth would have been stunted. Like one of the greatest things he ever did two of the greatest things he did, in my opinion, was Wolverine. Wolverine, like he talked to Frank Miller about this, and they're like, he wanted Frank Miller to work with him on it. And he's like, Frank Miller, this guy's just too one-dimensional. All he is violent. He doesn't really, you don't really care. He's always hates everybody. He said, well, what if we did him like a Ronin? And like, oh, that could be interesting. So they made it more interesting. And then like he grew as a character over the years, and that was thanks to Claremont and also with Frank Miller's input, but also with Rogue. Look at Rogue. She started out just being a bad guy. And they took her in, and then like her and Wolverine, like I would argue that one of the greatest story arcs of a character's progression is when 171, when she joins the X-Men, to 173, when she saves Wolverine's life, because none of the X-Men trusted her, rightfully so, but she ends up saving Logan's life. So I don't think they have enough, like, work on it like that. And like, we're like, okay, we got this guy working on it. And like, that's the thing that makes me nervous, even though I like Zdarsky. How long are they going to keep on Captain America? And how long is that series going to last where they go, well, let's restart it after issue 25?
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing is, they do the reboots all the time. We just recently discussed this week on my channel with Moon Knight, right? And yeah, it's really they really annoy a lot of people with the constant reboots. And as a retailer, it annoys me because I get that they're like, but it's a new number one, more people will buy it. Yes, but then less people buy the number two than the last number two. And it's proven. Look at the numbers. There are diminishing returns on constant reboots, right? That being said, Jed McKay has actually had a very years-long run on Moon Knight that will one day be collected in an omnibus, and that person will have no idea that there was so many different titles, or that it won't matter, right? So the new Moon Knight #1 was a great comic. Doesn't matter that they rebooted it again, which is a bad practice, because I understand the element of we want something fresh to jump into.
Mm-hmm.
But I also understand the argument of, oh shit, this book is on issue 734. That means I can invest in this book and it ain't going to go away. Right? So Marvel's actually been having plenty of long runs, but they've been disguised. Like, believe it or not, Steve Orlando's actually had like almost 50 issue run on Scarlet Witch books, but it's just a big series of miniseries, right? And nobody pays attention.
Incredible Hulk may have ended at 30, but Infernal Hulk is a continuation of that.
Yeah, and it's only 10 issues, and then it relaunches again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but then all together there'll be Philip Kennedy Johnson on Hulk, Omnibus 1, Omnibus 2, boom, there you go, right? Marvel is doing it. I just and here's the thing, and Psycho said something, but no, I'm not saying that they tell a compressed version of the history. I'm saying with Spider-Man, let's say Daniel Warren Johnson has agreed to write and illustrate Spider-Man for 50 issues. We're paying him an exorbitant amount of money to do it, so we can actually focus on it, not have to go to cons to do commissions, right? Not have to do that all the time, so we can actually devote time to this book. We give him enough leeway so that he's got 10 issues done already before we launch, and we don't do double shipping. We just ship 12 issues a month. Let's say we almost get at least a half a year's done before we actually release it. And then let's say the last run on Spider-Man, let's say it ends with Peter single and jobless. This picks up Peter in the modern age, single, jobless. We know who Spider-Man is. We rebuild his world slowly, reintroduce J. Jonah Jameson, Mary Jane if we want to get her involved, Robbie Robertson, Harry Osborn, whatever. Mm-hmm. When you introduce the Rhino, you do a flashback to recontextualize maybe the first appearance of the Rhino or a previous appearance of the Rhino to build the backstory, but then show a new take on it. And just the fact that Daniel Warren Johnson's doing it's going to get people excited. And he's going to be able to deliver that. What I'm saying, here's the problem. Here's how I think we solve American comics right now. The problem. Pay better. Pay better. And you're going to get better work from artists and writers. Give them a piece of the story. Give them what we got Deadpool and Venom because Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane had deals in place that if they created something, they had a piece of it. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, bring back royalties, make it hefty, get somebody to, if you do, let's say some asshat comes in and does a fantastic run on X Factor, reboots it, and Strong Guy becomes one of the most popular Marvel characters ever. And then they put that character in a movie, but they put that version of that character. Let's let the writer and artist who designed and created that version of the character get a cut of it, right?
And like I'll tell you, the last one of my favorite, and this maybe I don't know if this is going to be a hot take or not. One of my favorite eras of comics in the last 25, 30 years was around the mid 2000s at Marvel. And I know some people gave Marvel now hell, but like, yeah, Rick Remender doing Uncanny Avengers, which I thought was fucking amazing. And then Brubaker was writing Captain America and basically redoing some of his storyline. Like we have when they brought back they brought back Bucky, and like, but then they run these guys off because, like you said, they don't pay. And like, so if you ask Brubaker to come back the same rate he was getting then, he would tell you to go F off.
Yeah. So the story just recently came out that Kevin McGuire said he's no longer doing DC covers because his page rate hasn't changed in 20 years. I have talked to multiple creators who have told me their page rates have not changed in 20 years. And they go, why would I go back to work for DC or Marvel, Robbie?
Exactly. That's why you only have cover artists. Like I feel like somebody was saying about they wanted to do number one. I can't remember who it was, Metal Elf, I think. So they can make 50 variants for issue one, which is not far off because sometimes, like back in the day, let's look at this. This is a good example. That was the only cover you got, and it was pretty dope. Look at that. It's pretty dope. I mean, if you don't like Dazzler,
it's a dope ass cover, man.
Out there, it's pretty dope. And like now, like a lot of times I see the cover A and I don't want it. I'm like, well, I would rather get the Jenny Prison variant or the Mark Spears variant or the Daniel Warren Johnson variant. And of course, they don't have anything to do with the interior work at all. And sometimes now there's been some good interior work on Marvel. I'm not going to shit on them all around, but like a lot of times some of these Marvel books, and I'll put DC in there too, some of them too. You get in the inside of it, and you're like, well, this art's not that great.
Yeah.
And I'm the kind of person that has to have the art. The story could be good, but if the art's not is completely terrible, it kind of takes me out of it. Unless I put it in context though. Sometimes, like with Mike Mignola, you have to look at it differently, in my opinion, because he just draws a different way, and Hellboy's just a different kind of character. But like, but it works for that character. But there's some of these art styles I don't think work for like a Captain America or Avengers. I don't.
Well, when Mike Mignola did a fill-in issue on X-Force, everybody hated him, and then a couple years later, he creates Hellboy. Everybody loves him. So it's the whole thing. And here's okay, Lord of Brooklyn. I will say this: he would rather. Here's ideas for 7 to Eternity may have been X-Force ideas if his page rate was triple what he was making. The reason why somebody would like Rick Remender would rather make 7 to Eternity over another X-Force run is because if 7 to Eternity got picked up, become a successful streaming show or something like that, he gets the money. Give them more of that money up front. Marvel's making billions of dollars off of the ideas of creators, and they have been for decades. So that's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying that DC is not good, but they're not perfect. Come on.
I don't think they're perfect either, but they are very good
right now. But
they're not. They're better with some creators. But then the other thing, here's the thing, man. Like I know a very
better than the best thing going in the majors. Yeah, right now.
Well, I would include. Do we include Image now in the majors? Right.
That's a good question.
Like for instance, like Transformers, is that an indie book? Or is that a big 3 book?
The Ghost Machine doesn't even feel like an indie book to me. All the Ghost Machine stuff.
Exactly. I mean, they're indie, I guess, by theory and by the way we define that here, but it's not underground or alternative.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think Image will ever overtake one of the big 2?
No, because I don't think they're going to have as many successful books that single issue sell as much as the big 2, right? They will continuously come close, and they will over like to me, Image is I think we need to start framing it as big three, right? And that's why I've been trying to say, in particular, on some of my shows, I say mainstream superhero comics, because to me that means like Ghost Machine too, right? Hell, I would throw Transformers in there, right? But here's the thing: Transformers, an IP, big property. IDW had it for years, did nothing with it. Not really. Why does Kirkman seem to work? Daniel Warren Johnson, 24 issues, writing. Only 6 drawing, right? But like, or was it 12? I think it was 6. But then Jorge Corona. Consistency in that artwork. That's what we're getting in the Energon universe. It's so silly to say this, but Marvel needs to look at what Robert Kirkman is doing and do what he's doing, which all Robert Kirkman is doing is imitating some of the best years of Marvel, which is the 80s in particular. He's still, for instance, Robert Kirkman's still paying Larry Hama to write G.I. Joe, bro. Issue 325 just came out.
And it's still pretty awesome. I saw you do a review of today. And I remember you talking about the Moon Knight, because you said, really, rebooted again, even though Jet McKay's still writing it.
Yep. And Dev's still drawing it, but it looks great. And it works as a good start, doesn't it?
Yeah. Again, I wasn't saying that like DC's not killing it, but like there was some questionable art in my opinion, like Supergirl. I'm not talking like in absolute Batman or any of that, you know. IDW was, what'd you say? IDW is mismanaged by ideologues. And the perfect example, she's going to end IDW. Okay.
IDW will be fine as long as they have Godzilla, Turtles, and Sonic. They're just going to double down on those, and they've already recently made the announcement they're out of the creator-owned game. So,
well, they let G.I. Joe go, to Skybound.
And that's why we live in a world now where it's time for Vertigo to come back. You know, when Vertigo went away, we not only had Image, but we had very solid runs and books from Boom, Aftershock, Vault, Mad Cave. Less so now. A lot of those companies now, like IDW, Mad Cave, a lot of them are diving more into the licensed properties now. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it is now the time for Vertigo, because now we do need creator-owned books that have the resources of a company like DC.
Well, what's great about that Energon thing is just they hit a market when you have a lot of people of a certain age that are getting back into stuff that they enjoyed when they were a child. Like, you know, I collect G.I. Joe toys, and other people collects Transformers. And I'm thinking about getting into Transformers. God have mercy on my soul. But I still have some of the little 3¼ inch G.I. Joe. But we remember those toys like Mask, you know, and Transformers. And so now they're bringing Mask in there. And I don't know. It's just it's great. And like the fact that Larry Hama's still been writing that into the 300s now, and it's a continuing story, is amazing to me. Like, I guess it doesn't get the credit. Do they credit him with that run, or do they, because it went to IDW and then Image after Marvel? Does that not count the 324 issues?
Oh no, it all counts, man.
Okay. So why would TMT stay at IDW? I'm sure they are going to leave the same way Transformers G.I. Joe did.
Well, I can't tell too many tales outside of school, but IDW paid a lot of money for TMNT. They just recently had to re-up like a year or two ago. It's right before the Jason Aaron run started. They really re-upped, and they paid a lot for it, from what I've heard. But it's because they know, and they've made Turtles work, but Turtles is not working. It's working better than it was, but it's not working as well as G.I. Joe and Transformers are right now. No. Or hell, even Void Rivals, to be honest.
Did Jason Aaron leave writing it?
Yeah, he's already. It was 12 issues. Him and Juan had their run, and it was great, and it became a must-read. And now it's a solid run on Turtles. It's a really good run on Turtles, but it was a must-read comic. But yeah. IDW is doing decent stuff with some books. They're doing some good stuff with some IDW books in particular.
They have a lot of Godzilla books, though.
They fucking do, dude. There's Godzilla's goddamn everywhere, dude.
Godzilla's everywhere. He's been in DC, Marvel.
They could never make a goddamn Godzilla book work. And now all of a sudden he's everywhere. He's in the Marvel universe, like you said, the DC universe. He's with the Turtles. He's with the Power Rangers. He's with Romeo and Juliet. You know what I'm saying? Like he's all over the damn place, dude.
Kind of was intriguing. I'm like, what is this going to be about?
And all I want is a facsimile of Godzilla versus Charles Barkley because I still don't have that original comic, and I really want it, man.
Godzilla versus Peanuts 2026.
I'd buy that.
Have you ever seen the little short film from the early 80s called Godzilla versus Bambi?
No.
It's about a minute and a half long. It shows Bambi eating grass in the field, and then Godzilla steps on him.
Oh
The end. Yeah. I'll send you a link to it. If JSS Brooklyn was here, I would ask him to put a link to Godzilla versus Bambi in the chat because it's hilarious. Well, maybe I can find it. I'll put it up here. We can't watch it because I'll probably get in trouble.
Yeah, somebody owns Godzilla and Bambi, I guess, right?
Yeah, you know they do. Now, let me put it on here.
This is fun, man.
Versus. I just like doing a show like this because like I used to have like a lot of questions, and like I was telling you when we were on Fable's channel the other day, like I used to read off questions like I was. You remember like when you were in the Beatles?
That was awesome. Oh, I've done that before, dude. Like I got to do a panel with Rachel Lee Cook, and I am such a fucking fan of hers, and I am a nut for Josie and the Pussycats, right? So I do this panel, and all I have prepared is a conversation about She's All That, and then a bunch of shit about Josie and the Pussycats, right? So I do my whole spiel with her. We go through She's All That, a little bit more of her career, and then I dive into Josie, express my love. We have a great conversation. Then I realize, fuck, we still got 20 minutes, right? Time to open up to the audience, right? That's usually what you do. The audience will carry you the rest of the way. Only 2 people had questions. Out of this whole room of fucking people there to see Rachel Lee Cook, 2 people had questions. So then all of a sudden, I've still got like 15 fucking minutes to fill. And I looked at her at one point, bro, and I was like, yeah, you were in Get Carter with Sylvester Stallone, right? And she goes, yeah. And I went, how's Sylvester Stallone? What's he like? And I was just like, we've lost the fucking plot, dude.
Well, at least you weren't like, I don't know. I don't think I could have held together. It'd be like, if I had to interview Jessica Alba or somebody, there would be a problem probably because it'd be like, so I'd be like, be looking at, well, what was it like to shoot that scene where you had the cowgirl outfit on Sin City? I would have tripped her out.
Yeah, no shit.
Comic Vet here. What up? What's up, Comic Vet? He's got a show tonight, 11:55 p.m. New Comic Day pickups, by the way.
11:55 p.m. That's a late ass show, man.
Yeah, well, he works a different shift now at work, so used to be at 7.
You
But
keep competing with fucking like Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers and shit, dude.
I would argue that his show's better than Jimmy Fallon's show.
All right. I love the Comic Vet, but does he have the roots? Fuck, I don't even know. Jimmy Fallon still has the roots. Dude, who watches fucking that shit anymore? I don't watch it. I think most people watch clips on YouTube now, honestly.
If I watch anything from late night, it's a bunch of clips. Like you're saying, oh, we got another Bruce from Kingdom of Nerds just gifted 10 memberships.
Shit.
And
I hope I got one of them. What do I have to comment in the chat to be eligible?
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But
YouTube's just like, whatever.
I gotta find him a good clip. I gotta find him. I don't know if I got any DC clips. So he's a big DC guy. I used to.
This is when you need to have a good tick clip where like it's like, but I'm Batmanuel.
We'll play this one. I don't know if this will work for him. I didn't know what that one was. I forgot I had that.
It's like Cap fighting Thanos is what it looked like.
Let me tell you a story about that scene. Let me go here and see if I can find. I'm gonna go back here and look. I'm gonna read off. We got the free memberships. You can hear me talking in the background. Okay. All right, let's see if it'll load. We got Southern Comic Geek. Okay, no, I got to start at the top. We got Click on Comics received a membership. Scotty, Z70, Stephen, Lukey, Cosmic One, Cicada Sonic, Canadian Survivalist, Southern Comic Geek, Spidey's Powdered Tumblers, Ben Compton, and Ryan Riley. Congratulations for your memberships.
I recognize some of those names. That's awesome.
Hey, Bruce, thanks, Bruce. Appreciate your love, man. Jeff and everybody in Genesis Brooklyn sent a super chat. Oh, quick story. I was in the theater watching that movie, and when he picks the hammer comes to him, Mjolnir. I was like, let's fucking go. I screamed as loud as I could. And this person like a few seats down looked at me like this. And I was like, what?
My theater erupted in applause in that moment, man. Those are moments you only get in the theater, man. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
My favorite audience exclamation in a movie theater is the first time I ever watched Blade back in 1998. Blade changed my fucking life, dude. I love that fucking movie. 17 years old. I go watch Blade. That's that scene where Deacon Frost is talking shit to Dragon Eddie, the character played by Udo Kier, who we just lost, so R.I.P. And Dragon Eddie just slaps the shit out of Deacon Frost. You remember that shit, right?
Yeah.
This dude in front of me just goes, that dude just got bitch slapped like a motherfucker. I was like, it's like the whole theater just erupted. And it was back when everybody went and saw movies, man. So it was so funny.
The last time I had a good experience at a movie like that was like where everybody had like a shared like excitement was the last Superman movie by James Gunn.
Yeah. You know what's weird? The biggest movie crowd I've been in months was the Luc Besson Dracula film. I was like, I had no idea that I would be in here with 20 fucking people. Like, I was just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why are there so many people here watching this Luc Besson Dracula film? And I know in my theater, 20 people for this movie is ridiculous at this time on a Sunday afternoon. And I'm like, I can't believe it. But the movie sucked, by the way. I don't know if you've seen it yet. But.
Is that the one with Christoph Waltz in?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, it's not good, dude.
I've heard bad things about it.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It was far better, probably.
I have a movie pass at AMC, so I get to go watch 4 movies a week, as many as I want or whatever. So it's like $20 a month. So if I go see 2 regular movies or 1 IMAX movie, it pays for itself, right? So I try to like get to the movies because that's like church for me, dude. Like going to the movie theater on a Sunday, that's like walking into church, man. And sometimes you get a good sermon, sometimes you don't. And I also got the popcorn pass now, dude, where I get half price on popcorn.
Oh, that's awesome.
For the whole year. Pay $30, get popcorn, half price for the whole year. 4 more popcorn buckets, and I've paid for the popcorn pass. So, whatever.
Yeah, Lord of Brooklyn's right. He's like, excuse me, sir, could you please calm down? And the movie, yeah. I was that fucked me up. But I'll tell you what fucked me up in the movies was when Tony Stark dies.
Okay.
I was like, I hate to say that, but I mean, I don't hate to say it. I think it's all right to show your emotions.
Yeah, it is, man. I like what Jeff said, dude. When Spidey starts dusting and he's like, I'm not feeling so great, Mr. Stark, dude.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. We can sit here, we said at the beginning, hey, let's be thankful that we're getting all these comic book movies. We didn't have all this back in the day. And we should be thankful for it, right? I'm thankful for it. But we can be critical of these movies because we've had these movies have moments like those, man.
They've almost made it themselves an impossible task by how great those 2 movies were.
Yeah.
In a way. You know what I mean? Like, how do you it's the same thing with George Lucas, like, right, how do you top The New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi in the eyes of older fans? But I remember the moment like when we first got Avengers on the screen. on a silver screen. I remember watching it in the theater, and that scene where all of them are like, you know, how they're all kind of in like a semicircle, and they do that camera pan around them in New York, and I'm like, I had goosebumps because of like I never thought I would see something like this on a movie screen.
Yep.
You know, and I was like, this is it. Finally, it. And
that moment in Endgame where Cap finally says, "Avengers, assemble."
Yeah.
Goosebumps, brother. Goosebumps.
It was and like also, you know, I also got kind of emotional about was like when you hear Sam say, "On your left."
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. See, and like these movies, even comic book movies, can reach the heights of cinema that we thought was only regulated to like art films from other countries back in the fucking 50s and 60s. You know what I'm saying? They can have that level of emotional resonance because, and not only that, but to a wider spread audience, right? Because they hit a core value in the majority of people, movies like this, right? And it elevates your soul, man. Going to the movies can be like church, man. It can be like going to a great concert, seeing one of your favorite bands, just feeling uplifted. So yes, y'all criticize your comic book movies, man. Don't you want more Endgame moments, Matt, and less Love and Thunder moments, even though you like that film?
Like, that's just a goofy movie. I just thought it was goofy funny. Maybe that's not the right tone for Thor. It should have been something else.
Well, and not everything needs to have be some kind of grand, nuanced, heartstringy thing, right?
Jeff, Jeff? You know, I was having a good day. You had to bring up Office Prime dying in that movie.
Brother. Thanks. Heartbreaking, man. Kids were crying in the movie theater, man.
I still hate Hot Rod.
Well, you know I've never gotten over it either, man.
You remember the scene before that though, when Megatron and all of them get on the ship and they just start killing like
everybody, dude.
Mainstay characters are and then Megatron just double taps the guy on the floor. But, oh no! He goes, "My apologies in the chat." That's why they didn't kill Duke in the animated G.I. Joe movie, was because all the parents got pissed that they did that. Why did you kill my son's favorite?
Because they were going to do that.
Yeah.
Right. Meanwhile, people like me and you, we're in that job in the office, and we're like, we got to kill Duke and Optimus, man, because we got to sell Ultra Magnus and fucking Flint action figures, man.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting about that? We had on my channel last week, and Jeff helped me co-host that one. They got Jeff in the chat. We had another kind of a big toy creator on. His name's Destro, is my spirit animal, and he does a lot of YouTube stuff. And yeah, exactly. Lord of Brooklyn, Hot Rod killed Optimus. That's all there is to it.
I agree with that, man.
But like, what he was saying about that was like, if you notice at the end of the movie, you never see Duke recover though, because they didn't go back and reanimate anything. What they did, they just said, Doc said, Duke is out of his coma, but you never see him out of the coma. They just say, hey, Duke's out of his coma. They're like, yay.
That's right. Yeah, that's a reshoot.
Victor throws the snake at him. It hits him right in the chest, right in the heart. So yeah, he really died. I'm just going to stick with that because he might as well die. Because have you ever seen they changed from Sunbow to Deke? I think they're called Deke or whatever. Yeah. They just totally shit the bed with that G.I. Joe cartoon. It got horrible.
Yeah, they did.
But I digress. But like, I don't know, like you talk about the movie being like church. I remember as a kid, my first movie, and I'm a few years older than you, but I was not very old when this came out. The first time my mom and dad took me to a movie was Flash Gordon.
Oh shit! Ah!
And I remember after that movie's over, I was trying to get my dad to fight with these little toy swords I had. And I was like, "You can be mean," and I was trying to fight Ming the Merciless. And then my mom, she was very cool back in the day. I don't know if parents do this these days. When Terminator came out, and I'm like 9 or 10 years old. She takes me to go see Terminator in the theater, and the only time she covered my eyes is when Michael Biehn and Linda Hamilton are making out.
Yep.
Making love, or getting it on in the hotel room. She's like, and but there's nothing better than seeing
That's
those
so
movies.
cool. You
like
saw
that.
Terminator in the theater, man. That's so dope, man.
I'll never forget my mom, and she's like, I regret bringing you to this movie. But we didn't leave. Well,
so was Flash Gordon your first movie theater
she
then?
took me to see. What are you doing? Okay.
Who was that?
That's my friend Boggs. He's a co-administrator. I didn't know he was going to show up backstage. All right. You got a pillow over the face as a kid? Oh, wow.
So was Flash Gordon your first movie theater experience?
Yeah.
Cool.
And
Mine was Child's Play.
Oh, wow. It's okay, Will. He didn't know. The stalker. Yeah, Child's Play. That's a hell of a first movie, dude.
Dude, I didn't make it through the entire movie. So the movie came out in what, 88? I think. So I'm like 7 years old. And it's a funny story. I actually told this story to Fiona Dourif, daughter of Brad Dourif, who is the voice of Chucky. Fiona is a character in some of the Chucky movies and in the TV show. Fiona is amazing. She's a great actress and a fantastic person, but very cute and just awesome. But we took a prom photo together. we're like making the prom pose or whatever. She's like, "Can we take a prom photo?" Because I told her the story about my mom, and she had a similar kind of relationship with her mother. My mom was super into horror movies, right? She's the reason why I got into horror movies. She would take me to the movie theater or to the video store and let me pick out things. I always was attracted to the gnarly covers over in the horror section. She would let me rent whatever I wanted to, no matter what it was rated. The only thing is if there was nudity or sex on the screen, I had to turn my face away, right? So my biological father wants to take me to my very first movie. And
You're fine, Will.
all I am seeing is how much I want to watch Child's Play because I've seen the commercials all over the place. I'm aware that this Chucky thing is in existence. I want to go see it because I love horror films. My mom told my biological father, she said, he's going to want to see Child's Play. Do not take him to see Child's Play. He can't watch a rated R movie unless I'm there. So go take him to see something else. My dad, trying to be cool, took me to go see Child's Play. We're in Child's Play. The moment the doll comes to life and starts cursing at Andy's mom, I lose my fucking shit and start crying in the movie theater. My dad has to get me out of the movie theater. He goes and he's trying to like figure out what to do because I just would not stop fucking crying. So he gets the theater person to let us watch U2 Rattle and Hum instead.
Rattle and Hum. Interesting.
That's the movie he wanted to watch was U2 Rattle and Hum because he was a rocker, right?
Yeah.
So I remember going in there, just fucking tears in my eyes with a cherry Coke and some Twizzlers, like watching U2 because I was terrified by Chucky. The funny thing about the story, it's like go back home. At the time, you may remember this. You may be a little too old for this because you're about 5 years older than me. But like the My Buddy doll.
Yeah, I remember it.
I had a My Buddy doll. So my mom and my stepdad, they took my Buddy doll, duct taped a knife to its fucking hand, and set it up at the edge of my bed. So I woke up in the morning.
God.
And that was there, and I freaked out again. And my mom said, "That's why you never watch a horror movie without me."
So you were, instead of like going to see Chucky, you were there eating your popcorn and Raisinets, watching Mono sing "Bullet the Blue Sky."
Yeah, I remember when Monster Squad first played on HBO.
I love that movie.
And it was on one of those weekends where HBO was free for everybody, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm watching it, and my cousin's there, and she starts screaming and crying because Dracula's on stage killing people, right? Or on screen killing people. My mom comes in there and goes, "What's going on? What's going on? Robbie's making me watch this movie. We're not allowed to watch movies like this." She looks at it and goes, Oh, Robbie's seen this movie plenty of times. It's fine. Monster Squad is fine. This is for kids.
I'll never forget when they kicked the Wolfman right in the nards.
I love that movie so much, dude. I love it.
Yeah, 80s parents were different. Like, look, I was allowed to go, and like the video stores were different. I'm not talking about like Blockbuster. We had like a mom and pop video store, and how you knew how these were like this because there was a tanning bed in the back.
Yes,
and they had the adult section with the like beaded curtain.
Yes, and they had the best horror sections, bro. Yeah, because they would have the shit you've never seen. They would have Faces of Death, you know. And I remember like taking years to build up the courage to rent that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
They would rent it to you. I would rent like The Exterminator. It's like one of the most violent 80s movies ever, or like Mission in Action, Bloodsport, you know, Kickboxer, and all that. Like, well, it's funny you mentioned the scrambled HBO and occasional liberal glance. For a while, my stepdad had satellite. I'm not talking like direct TV.
You talking about that giant ass shit in the backyard? Yeah, dude. It
runs around, and you can get anything. We were watching like wrestling in like Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
You know,
I had a buddy who had one of those motherfuckers, dude, and we go to his house all the time. First thing we would do when the parents went to sleep, let's go to the nudie channels, man.
Oh yeah, I gotta find the Spice Network. Right?
Same guy that introduced me to anime with movies like Ninja Scroll and Vampire Hunter D.
You know, it's interesting though about these video stores in the 80s and the early 90s. Though we might not have gotten some of these great, like so bad they're good movies, like Hell Comes to Frogtown. You know, or some of this crazy shit. Like,
well, the entire career of like Charles Band and Richard Corman, or Roger Corman, my bad, Roger Corman, right? Like they were able to make movies at a budget that would definitely make money for them when released on videos to the video stores, right? You know, and it's, dude, don't even get me started on Red Shoe Diaries, Fable. You know how much I love Red Shoe Diaries, man. I still have an idea for a show, Matt, called PCP After Dark, where we go through and just review episodes of Red Shoe Diaries and Skinamax movies and shit like that.
Up all night with what was her name, Rhonda Shear.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. Yes.
Like that'd be like that. Like I always want to do a show. Like I wish if they weren't so like restrictive on YouTube, but I always wanted to do like we like to hang out backstage. Like last night, Fable and Jeff and I think Aaron Cyclotron Squirt Gun were backstage with me and King of Nerds, and we were watching clips from kung fu movies like Kung Fu Hustle.
Fuck yeah.
The Big Boss. What was that one he showed? What's his name? Bruce, are you still here? What was that clip you showed? Kung Fu Master Killer or something they call it. What's his name? But I can't remember that actor's name. But yeah.
Jeff, by the way, I know who you're talking about. Shannon Tweed.
Shannon Tweed. Yep.
Yep. All over the place.
Oh, like Julius Strain. Those movies, God, what was his name? I can't remember the director, but he always did this. Like he did like these movies like Malibu Express, Hard Ticket to the Wild. Andy Sedaris. No, not Sedaris. Andy Sedaris. And his whole family did these movies. His wife, then his son started directing them, and like they'd have like Julie Strain, or like they'd have these girls. Obviously had great assets, and I don't know if there's another YouTube channel. I don't know if you know it. His name's Jason Brandt. And he does a thing called So Bad It's Good. So him and his wife, their friends, will watch a movie, and he edits it so you see clips of it. But you see them they watch the whole movie, but they edit it to where you got clips of them watching, reacting to the clips. And he named the two girls in it. D Cup and C Cup was their nickname. I don't know if you've ever seen Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
No, not that I remember. Maybe if it was on a random night on Skinamax or Showtime.
There's a big giant snake in it, and the guy crashes through I'm going to find that clip. I don't know if I can get it. I might be able to get away with that. Hold on. Have you ever heard of Wing Wing?
No. And Fable, you're right. Howling 2, there's a reason why I want to do the Howling franchise soon.
Okay, we got it. You know what? Never mind. You got to see this because I know I don't get in trouble with this because this movie is public domain.
Okay.
Um, this guy was Wing Wing. You need to look him up. He was a Filipino action hero. He was only 3 feet tall. And so he does this scene where he's getting ready. He's being chased by these bad guys. And the movie's called, by the way, you've heard it, For Your Eyes Only. The movie's called For Your Height Only.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, hey, do yourself a favor, watch Jason Brandt's channel. Yeah, it's installed Jason Brandt YouTube channel. Just look it up. If somebody in the chat, Jeff, could you get a link for Jason Brandt's channel and put it in the chat, please?
All right, Matt, I got to pee again real quick. Can we hold off on the clip for just a second?
Yeah.
Set up the clip like you're Jimmy Fallon.
All right, we got a clip. Yeah, we're gonna play. What's his name? What's the clip that? We'll play the clip that. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. We'll play the clip. What's the clip that Paul Rudd always plays when he's on Conan O'Brien from Mac and Me, where the kid's in a wheelchair going down the hill? Yeah, I got a question. Has anybody ever read this? I got this for free, issue 1, and I want to know if it's any good. Because if it's any good, I might read it and see if I can get into it. I don't know. I've never heard of it. It's got a cool back cover, though. Here we go. This is Jason Brandt's YouTube channel. He's also got. I got this one too. Check this out. Did I show you the Superman and Sergeant Rock? That's pretty cool. Yes, and they do drag Steven Seagal a lot. Did you get a copy of that too? Cool. We got to get here. I'm going to find a short clip of Jason Brandt too, like a short.
Sorry about that, brother.
All right.
This beer is going right through me, man.
It's all good. I'm probably going to have to use the bathroom myself here in a minute. Here, well, I'm going to play 2 clips. We'll play. I'll play this one on Jason Brandt's channel. It's a short. I don't think he'll mind me playing it. We're kind of promoting the show, right? It's just a short. All right. This is kind of what they do. They watch bad movies and then they comment on it. I don't know if they were commenting on this one. They did comment on it. Hold on. Let me find where they're commenting. Here we go.
You can't get footage of a truck?
No. Do you know how expensive trucks are?
Oh! Was that
No!
Is this for real?
No!
Oh my god! Those might be the worst effects we've ever seen.
Very funny. That's awesome. That's some of the best part about watching bad movies when you're watching it with your homies. You know,
that's the best part of that. That's why the whole spirit of good bad cinema was. We kind of throw some good ones in there, just to be honest. You know what I mean? Just to stay honest. But here's Wing Wing on his little mini motorcycle, jumping a ravine, being chased by bad guys. Imagine how slow this motorcycle's going compared to this car. It sounds like a little bitty lawnmower engine.
yeah, I was about to say I love the sound effect. Bro, that's some Fast and Furious shit right there.
There's another scene where you can see him jumping down the stairs at these two guys. But what they're doing is you can see these bigger guys' shadows at the top of the stairwell, tossing him down the stairs on top of these two guys, and they catch him. And he jumps out of a building with an umbrella. So
that's how it works, man. Cartoon physics, man. Looney Tunes. Let's go.
Yeah, and then he's got a rocket pack on in one movie, and it's basically they just took a fire extinguisher and put it on a backpack.
Jesus.
And you got like a little fire.
Yeah, the only thing better than watching a terrible movie with your homies is watching a great movie and then discussing it with your homies, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Like I said, the only cardinal sin of film is to be boring, right?
Yeah.
And if you can find a way to be fun, it's just
Well,
absolutely
there's movies like that, like Samurai Cop. That movie's terrible.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious.
Yeah, 100%, dude. They're like for instance, I would argue that the 87 Masters of the Universe film is one of the greatest films of all time. Like one of my favorites, you know? I love that movie, you know? And it's one of those things, like I said before, when we were kids, we got, you know, say I love Masters of the Universe. It's like one of my favorite first loves is He-Man, right? I watched that movie and I was like, why is this so different? But I just accepted it. This is what I got, you know? So
now, I'm going to have to ask you if you can wait while I go to the bathroom.
Oh, absolutely. Let's do it. How's everybody doing out there? This has been super fun. I've had a lot of fun tonight. Entertaining above all, I agree, Chad, 100%. Hope everybody's had a good new comic book day. Yeah, I wrote down some of these recommendations like Jason Brandt and this Godzilla versus Bambi thing I need to check out. Well, thank you, Psycho. I appreciate your happiness at seeing me here. That makes me happy. I like how Matt doesn't mute his mic when he goes to the bathroom. I like that. I realize now he doesn't wear headphones. That's going to be an issue on Monday night. I'm going to require him to wear headphones on PCP movie night. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Headphones. I just don't. I don't like them.
I get it. I hope you wear them on Monday because the bleed through would really affect us with 6 people on the panel. So,
okay.
I hope you wear them for me.
Oh,
Chat, throw one out there if you want Matt to go headphone free. Throw a chat number 2 if you want to see him wear the headphones.
Did you hear me flush the toilet?
No, I was talking over that probably, but you didn't mute your mic, and I could just hear something going on.
No, you just heard me walking. It's okay. Okay.
I've been on a show with a dude one time who was wearing a headset and turned off his camera to go take a whiz, and then didn't turn off his mic. You know what I'm saying? And we could hear him tinkle, and then he didn't wash his hands, and then we busted him on it, and then he tried to claim that he didn't take a whiz. All he did was wash his hands. And what we heard was washing hands. I was like, motherfucker, if you think me at 44 years of age don't know the difference between piss hitting a toilet fucking bowl and fucking a sink being turned on and someone washing their hands, get the fuck out of here, man.
That's kind of like so he had like a Naked Gun type situation going on.
Exactly.
He's sitting there going, oh.
You know, the bit that sticks in my head out of a Naked Gun movie, and I don't remember which one it is. I don't know if it's, I don't feel like it would be the first one. Maybe it's one of the other ones, one of the sequels. What, 2.5, 33rd and a third, right? But there's one of them that are like, do you practice safe sex? And they're both wearing full body fucking condoms. Do you remember that shit?
Yeah. I think it was the first one.
That one cracks me up, man.
I like when he goes by the two little buildings that look like boobs. He's like, everywhere I go, everything reminds me of her.
Yes.
Those movies are so good. Actually, the Liam Neeson one had its moments, but
I still haven't seen that one.
No, okay. There's a scene. There it is. They kind of do a classic Naked Gun thing where they're in there and she's cleaning the stove. She's on her hands and knees cleaning the stove, and the guy's looking out from another building, and it's like on infrared. And all he sees is this. And sees her silhouette.
Yeah, man. The classic American Beauty scenario.
Yeah, or like the innuendo, like with like what movie was that? Like, remember Austin Powers Part 2? And they're in the tent.
Yes,
that part, a little innuendo. Yeah, I think it is the first one he's talking about.
Cool. That'd be a fun revisit to do. The original Naked Gun movies. That would be really fun. That'd be really fun.
Aaron said, show you the bear getting thrown. I think I already showed you that, didn't I?
I already saw that. I picked out the movie.
Yeah, you want to hear the worst laugh in the history of laughs in a movie?
Is it from Dumb and Dumber? I don't know, dude. I think the guy in Garbage Day 2 has that beat.
Dude, you think so?
Yeah, I do.
Those were the Barbarian Twins. Those were they were labeled the bad boys of bodybuilding.
Nice. Oh, I said Garbage Day 2. What I meant was Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. The Garbage Day. Yeah.
Oh my God, that one's so crazy. That's like, and we
First
tried
time
to
I watched that movie, bro. Like, I was on Dylan's horror show, and he was like, "We're doing Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Part 2." I was like, "I love the first one, but I've never seen the second, so let's go." So I watched 1 and then immediately watched 2. That's the worst way to do it, brother.
Oh,
because you're like, I just saw half of this.
No, we said that we reviewed it for Bad Cinema. You can ask Fables on there, Jeff, and my friend Tony. And we're like, you know what? I was going to review the Silent Night, Deadly Night for another show. I said, we've already done Part 2. I've seen Part 1.
Yes, pretty much,
that's
man.
all it is. It's like 45 minutes of Part 1 mixed in with like others. And this guy was like, I don't know what he was going for this acting job. He did this. I don't know if he's. I was like, did this guy act professionally or?
Yeah.
What did he do for this?
That's a use your preferred substance and watch it with a group of people.
Yes.
Right. But here's the thing. What alternate those movies? Like watch Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 year for Christmas, and then wait a whole year until you watch Part 2. Right. I think the first one is a fucking brilliant film. I think the first one's a brilliant film, man. I really do.
Yeah, we watched every Friday 13th movie basically on Halloween, during Halloween in October. For me,
nice.
October, I don't know about you, Robbie, but for me, I could actually go Halloween all year. But Halloween starts for me the last week of September all the way until November.
Okay.
All of October is Halloween month to me. That's what I call it.
All right. I love what you're saying there. I agree. I actually extend my celebration. First of all, what you said, be bold, man. Just fucking say it. Halloween is for tourists. We live this shit all year long. Halloween is every day. Halloween to me is a state of mind. Now, as far as how much we celebrate Halloween, over at my channel, we celebrate Halloween with a little thing called Horror Fest. We've been doing it for years, and Horror Fest ends on Halloween night. And you know when it starts? Starts in the middle of August. So,
yeah.
So there you go, man.
That's the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, the Fable just said it. Horror Fest starts in August.
Hopefully, be a part of it next time.
We've actually shortened Action Fest so that Horror Fest can start earlier.
Horror films, yes.
Yep.
Well, I like to throw
and as if it wasn't enough, in March we do March Madness, which is like a mini horror fest
Same
of
thing.
sorts.
Yeah, basically, it can be.
Yeah. Horror movies are my fucking shit. I'm sure you picked up on that.
I
Like,
get that.
I love comics, and comics are like a big part. My whole life is designed around comics. My whole life is also designed around movies, man. I fucking love movies. In my entire adult life, I've either, aside from maybe just like a couple of years working at a car dealership in the service department, like every job I've had in my adult life has revolved around comic books or movies. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, now we're doing Sci-Fi Fest.
Right.
I'm
Speaking
glad you
of
mentioned Friday the 13th. So real quick before we get out of here, I'm going to be on Sci-Fi Fest Friday night, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Fable, his channel, One Collection Down. We're going to be talking about The Prestige. And then right before that, at 6:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 Eastern, I'm going to be over at Blood Splatter Chatter talking about Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning, because we're doing a different Friday the 13th movie every Friday the 13th. And since we've been doing it, this is the 5th one. So this is a Friday the 13th. And we're doing Part 5, which to me is one of my absolute favorite Friday the 13th movies. Right before that, at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Central. Yeah, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, I'll be having a conversation, comic book writer Chuck Brown. So it's going to be a triple feature for me on Friday night. But I'm looking forward to it. But man, Friday 13th, what's your favorite one out of the franchise, Matt?
Part 6.
Okay. No nudity in that one, man. Just saying.
I know. I like Part 4, but there's something about Jason's such a badass in Part 6.
He really is, dude. Tool belt Jason, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
But 7, you got to go with Kane Hodder. I mean,
Kane Hodder, man. His performance in 7. 7's a good movie, dude. A big epic. It's what is that? It's Phoenix meets Jason. That's what Part 7 is.
Jean Grey versus the thing about Part 7 to me is like, and I think this part gets overshadowed these horror films. Is when you got the guys that play. If you play somebody like Michael Myers, there's a certain skill to playing Jason Voorhees, and I think Kane Hodder got that. Like Boris Karloff got that playing Frankenstein. He didn't have to say a single word, and you were still frightened of him. And just this lumbering, like this unstoppable machine, basically at this point. Also, the makeup in 7 is on point. That's my version of Jason. I just love that. And the whole
7 and 8, that's my favorite look for Jason.
And Bernie Lomax, he gets killed in that one too. So
yeah, 7 and 8 are my favorite looks for Jason, man. So like the second time I met Kane Hodder, the first time I met Kane Hodder, I was wearing a Dallas Cowboys hoodie, and he goes, "What's that supposed to be? A football team?" And he was like dogging on the Cowboys, and I had like it was a good. We got to josh with each other. It was really fun. The second time I got to meet Kane Hodder was the first time my buddy John, Hammer Time Holeshoe, got to meet Kane Hodder. And his favorite Friday the 13th movie is New Blood, Part 7. Loves it. That's his fucking shit. So we got to meet the chick from it who just recently passed away as well, right?
Park Lincoln, I think.
Yeah, Park Lincoln something, right? So anyway, we got to meet her, but we were meeting Kane Hodder, and he looks at John and he goes, "What's your favorite Friday movie?" And he goes, "Part 7. It's New Blood. I love New Blood." And the blah, blah, blah. He goes off. Kane Hodder's super appreciative, blah, 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 blah. Goes on. And then out of nowhere, without fucking anybody asking him, he goes, "My buddy Robbie doesn't like New Blood that much. It's not that I don't like it, but it's not my favorite." Okay. So he goes, "It's not Robbie's favorite." So Kane Hodder looks at me and goes, "What is your favorite?" And I was like, Kane Hodder just asked me what my favorite Friday the 13th movie is. Do I A, lie to him? Do I B, tell him the truth? What should I have done, Matt?
I don't know. He's a big guy.
He is. He's intimidating too.
I would probably just stick. I think he probably respected just your opinion more than
I
you
told
would.
him the truth. I said, part 2. He looks at me and he goes, part 2? He doesn't even have the fucking mask in part 2. And I was like, my favorite with you is Jason Takes Manhattan. So that's how I coupled it. And then he gave me this great story about how he hated filming Jason Takes Manhattan because they had to continuously keep him wet for his look.
Yeah.
And they put him in a wetsuit, but it kept leaking in the wetsuit. So he was just soaked in water every time he was
God,
on.
it had to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, dude. And you're right, Psycho. My buddy threw me under the bus. Who does that? Who does that? Who's like, yeah, dude. By the way, my friend hates New Blood.
Yeah, well, it could have been worse. He says, by the way, my friend says you suck at Jason Voorhees. That would have been worse.
Yeah, that does.
Well,
by the way, Kane Hodder's favorite is part 7. So
I have to go with part 4 too, but it's not because of the Jason. It's because of the lovely Judy Aronson.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. And also,
I know what you're talking about.
Well, I was talking about this with Fable and Jeff one night. You know what we need? We need a horror movie dance-off between Crispin Glover and Friday 13th, Part 4, the final chapter, and Ed Harris in Creepshow. 2 of the worst dancing scenes I've ever seen in my life. I don't know what Crispin Glover was thinking. He looked like Elaine Bennis on Psycho, didn't it?
I prefer the dance scene in Friday the 13th, Part 5, The New Beginning, with the chick is like,
oh yeah,
they doing her little whatever the fuck that is.
I don't know what she was doing. That was crazy.
Yeah, we're covering that Friday night. I'm so excited, man. I love that film. What do you think about Part 5? Because I love 6 and I love 7. I love Part 4 too. Not as much as other people though.
Yeah.
Part 4 to me gets a little boring, man. But
there's some
2 is my favorite. 2 is my favorite.
I think they focus too much on the teenagers partying a little bit. Even though I like that part, but like I think there's too much of that shit in that. And I want to get right down to business.
Yeah, no shit. See, that's why I like Part 2. Is I actually care about the characters a little bit more.
Yeah.
In Part 2. But my favorite Friday the 13th movie that's not a Friday the 13th movie that includes all the Friday the 13th movies is The Burning. I think The Burning's better than all of them. So
Part 5, it should have just been named something else. First of all, if it had just been any other character with Jason, it was just disappointing that like the whole thing doesn't make sense. Like, actually, my favorite character movie is Reckless. What's his name? Reckless Reggie.
Reckless Reggie, man, brother of Demon.
Yeah. But like, there's a funny thing about that movie. One of the actors said, "Look, that movie. Everybody on this movie was coked up except for the guy playing Tommy because he was a born again Christian." And like a lot of people didn't get along with this guy, and like he really is inconsequential to the movie.
He kind of is. He kind of is. Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's the big red herring of the movie.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to lead us to believe that he's going to turn into the new Jason. Then we get revealed that he's not, and then the ending is that he does, and then they undercut that ending with the best opening of the Friday the 13th sequel, which is part fucking 6, where they basically he becomes a universal monster, right? With the shovel and the lightning and all that shit.
And I had a crush on the blonde-headed girl on that one too.
Yeah. Now, Part 5, you want to talk about some nice assets that are shown in that movie? Part 5 is my favorite by far, dude. In fact, the first time you see any boobage in that movie, the chick literally just pulls her top off for a split second and goes, "It's showtime," and then the movie proceeds to show almost every female character's top.
When you see movies, oh my god, talk about some assets.
I love it, dude. Love it.
The movie that she directed called 13 Fanboy.
No, I haven't.
It was like a crowd-funded movie, and it was supposed to be about this guy that's obsessed with Friday 13th, and he kills all the actors. It's got Kane Hodder in it.
Okay. I've heard about this. Yeah, actually.
The woman that played the mother in Cujo and E.T. is in it.
Dee Wallace.
Yeah, she's in it, and
I've heard about this movie. They were talking about this at the last Scarefest I was at, actually.
But so it's interesting though. One of my friends actually donated money to it to get like he got like autograph stuff and
Oh,
some
that's super
free
cool,
stuff out
dude.
of it. So his name's in the production credits.
I always forget this shit too, but Friday 13th Part 5 has one of my favorite scream queens who's very much usually forgotten. What's her name? She's in Friday Part 5. She's in Slumber Party Massacre Part 2. And she's in fucking Psycho Part 3.
Are you talking about, is it not Leanna? No, it's not her. It's not Quigley, is it?
It's not Linnea Quigley, but who the fuck is it? She to me is like Linnea Quigley is to me Scream Queen.
A lot of TNA. Slumber Party Massacre Part 1. It's got all the TNA you need. I know that.
Yeah, I love it. Man, I need to find out who this person is. Maybe it's better if I type in Slumber Party Massacre 2. Not a lot of people in there. What's her name?
Have you ever seen Evil Tunes with David Carradine?
No, I have not. I've heard about it though.
Monster, it's hilarious. But like now, I like some of these girls. Like you see them, like you said, like the scream queens. Like they always see them in the same movies. But like, let's say about Part 5 is like, but Part 6. Let me ask you this: me and Jeff and Fable have a theory about Jason Lives. It's not really a theory, but I would say that Tommy Jarvis is responsible for every death in that movie.
Yeah, he is.
Because he should have just left him buried. He gets his friend killed. He gets all his people killed. He just couldn't. Oh.
Her name is Juliette Cummings, by the way. Yeah, that's who it is. Juliette Cummings. She was great, dude.
Yeah. Well, Corey Feldman, he just grew up to be such a weird dude.
He's going to be at MegaCon, man. I'll be at MegaCon. I wonder if I'll run into Corey Feldman somewhere.
Ask him if you can start going up to him and start singing Comeback King to him. My problem with him, and I won't get into it much, is like that for somebody to claim that Corey Haim was his best buddy, he has really threw him under the bus since his death.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I just kind of, that's what kind of turned me off to him. But anyway, we won't talk about that. But I'm sure you probably get tired of talking to me. I'm sure. So we've been on here for 2 hours and 17 minutes.
I know we could go longer. Let's do another one, man. You should come on to my show. We'll do another one over there, and you're going to be on PCP Movie Night, dude. Like hell yeah, this has been great.
Part 2. We'll bring it over there.
Yeah, let's fucking do it, man.
All right. Well, we're going to leave it there. Rob, you got anything you want to plug before we get out of here? I do have one thing for you that we can plug. You can talk about this.
That's what I was going to say. Sci-Fi Fest in the works right now. Close Encounters of the Third Kind over at PCP, Pop Culture Philosophers, on Monday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. Before that, 8 p.m. Central Time on Friday. Join me at One Collection Down for The Prestige. Right before that, over at Blood Splatter Chatter for Friday 13th, Part 5. And right before that, over at Pop Culture Philosophers for a conversation with Chuck Hogan. And yeah, you'll see more Matt on my channel, more Matt on other people's channel, more other people, including me, on Matt's channel. So, hell yeah, dude.
They Live next Friday. I'll be on Fable's channel at 9 p.m. Eastern next Friday
Nice.
for They Live. They Live. And let me. I guess I better tell everybody what I got going on before we go. Tomorrow night's the Comic Lounge Hangout Show. Yeah, I know it's not a very good thumbnail, but I thought it was cool because I like Mary Jane. 8 p.m.
I think that's
Eastern,
a great thumbnail, brother.
8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. We talk about comics, pop culture, movies. We may even get a copyright claim for playing a movie trailer. You never know. But it's okay. It's fine. As long as it's not a strike. Remember that. As long as it's not a strike. And then Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern, the new Comic Day preview show. I call it the Sunday Super Show Extravaganza because I like to have an excuse to say the word extravaganza in a sense. But we do new Comic Day previews, out of context panels of the week. And if you're like, what are out of context panels of the week, Matt? Well, it's very simple. It's something that can be taken out of context, kind of like this. Let's see if I can find it. Let me find a good one. Here we go. It says, chin up, Superman. Really glad it's my finger, not my fist. And then I'll have the movie show. I don't next week I don't have a guest. She had to reschedule. I was supposed to have Sakesha Ray, the artist, was supposed to be on next weekend, but she's in Amsterdam. So I guess it's a good reason not to be on the show. So it's all good. But next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, a Good Bad Cinema, we're going to review The Warriors, and we're going to ask the question, is it the best movie about street games? All right. That's just kind of a clickbaity title because I'm sure somebody will get mad when I don't mention gangs in New York.
I was going to say maybe gangs in New York, but like, I mean, that's a good case to argue that Warriors might be.
And,
I mean, what else is there? There's like, I mean, honestly, like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah. Hopefully, we have part two. We'll call it part two, Robbie.
I mean, are we counting movies like Boys in the Hood? That's a pretty fucking good movie.
Yeah, I don't know. Or could you?
But
or
that's
like,
really about gangs, not
Yeah.
like New Jack City is, which is another great fucking movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah, New Jack City is amazing.
I don't
Warriors
know.
is pretty good though.
We kind of do a thing where we like vote whether it's good or bad, and we kind of vote on whether it's the bad kind of good or you know what I mean, the bad. Because
Well,
there's
put in a vote for me that it's the good kind of bad.
like, so you know what I mean, like a Neil Breen movie. It's so bad it's good.
That movie, Neil Breen, I think Neil Breen to me is a genius because I think he knows exactly what the fuck he's doing.
Oh no, you can't tell me he doesn't know that. Like,
If he doesn't, he's literally the worst filmmaker of all time. But I
And he's
think
been
he's
in
doing it on purpose.
he's either the worst filmmaker in the world or he's doing it on purpose or he's completely mentally ill. I don't know which one it is.
Yeah. He's either a genius or he needs.
Well, let's intersperse it down. I want to ask you another question. Do you think Ed Wood really thought his movies were good?
No, I do not.
Yeah. But I like the ones like John Waters who just embraces who he is.
I think exactly. Ed Wood was a kayfabe version of Roger Corman and John Waters, like you said, exactly. Yeah.
Fateful Findings is the funniest, worst love scene ever.
I gave Fateful Findings a perfect score when we reviewed it last year, by the way. So we're doing double down this year. So
All right, Jeff. Jeff says, until Thanos stacks me into the dust, make mine marvel. All right. Well, okay, we're going to go. Thank you, Robbie. I really appreciate you being on the show. Actually, the show's usually only like an hour and 20 minutes, so we did good.
that's why our last movie review of Fable was 3 hours because I was there. So I'm sorry.
I like it when it's like this. It was not like forced. We just talk movies and comics for the whole time.
Yes.
So everybody, so as I always end the show because I used to watch Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends and all those cartoons in the 80s. Stan Lee would narrate it. And he'd say, "Until next time, true believers, Excelsior."
Come, son of Jarrell! Kneel before Zod! Snoochie boochies.